Right then, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's do ourselves a double check. Are we live? We are indeed live. Right then, chat. Well, no one's really here just yet, I think. But, as mentioned, this here will be Dead Ringer. I'm a tiny bit early, but hey, let's all have some fun here. As mentioned before, this is a game jam game. You can even see that also pointedly over here. So if you do wanna read it and rate it for yourselves, you can always do so after this, after or even during the stream if you guys want to. Let's see, that looks tiny bit wrong on stream. Let's see if I can. No, that looks alright actually. Sorry, I messed something up on my end and there we go. Well, without further ado, let us start Dead Ringer. Content warning: gore, dismemberment, strong language, child abuse, body horror, homophobia, and violence. So yeah, all the fun things. Annoying. That's the best way to describe it. Growing up, they teach you to pick the job you're passionate about. No matter what, you should find something you're good at and stick with it. The problem is, passion and proficiency mixed together like shit. How to deal with people who have been pushed to the brink during the worst of days of their lives, untangle their lies, and solve their messes. All with a smile, or at least keeping my poker face intact. Sometimes I think I'd be happier as an accountant rather than a private eye. Then again, I'd be an awful money man. At least here I can run circles around any second-rate cop. Right. Work. Strange, it's already 10:30, so it must be one urgent job. Let's see who died this time. You got Morgan. That's a pretty penny to pay out, but it will help knowing what the job is first. She is frazzled, clearly wealthy at the very least. Must have been a gruesome death, or maybe she watched the person die. We'll see. I understand. Wonderful. So my reputation precedes me. Right. Costs haven't been called yet. Fantastic. Keep it that way. I'll be there soon. Goodbye. At least I'll have less people in my way. Should take some coffee with me, as it seems like this one's gonna take quite a while. I'll add cream and sugar for a nice energy boost, and I'll put it in this fancy disposable cup to keep it hot. There we go. Now before I forget, I'll text my better half to not wait for me tonight. Looks like it's gonna be a long night. This address is pretty far out from the city. It takes the local police at least 25 minutes to get here. Can't forget the time between the gate and the front door. The miracle worker finally graces us with his presence. Please, tell me you can finish this quickly, so my hired help can be penciled in for Pennsylvania's finest electric chair. Meredith Eloise. She's a successful pharmaceutical rep who likes to tout her connections with several private events she hosts all throughout the year. She's also known for being a pretty effective fixer in the medical field. Quite a woman to have as a client. She's got power, money, and a reputation she'd kill to uphold. I just hope she isn't trying to get me to cover up an alleged act of passion. She's clearly had a decent bit to drink, and she's probably got sharper wits than I do right now. Well, say something. I hired a detective, not a professional people watcher. People watching is part of my job description, ma'am. Apologies, I was preoccupied with the bloodstain. Did you? Kill them? Oh gods no, they're my money, my connections. I could never even think of it. Was going to touch the bodies. Was going to say touch the bodies. Oh, then yes, it was a unique sight to take in. I think you may have gone out the window until I called you in. Defensive. Whether it's the murder or something else, there's something she's worried about. Right, you mentioned something about hired help. I'd like to meet everyone who was here during the incident. Yes, of course, the writing side. Nice place. Looked to be 3 stories outside, so either access to the first floor is past the foyer, or there's an attic with entrance to a different room. There's 2 other people excluding myself and Meredith. Did they send any potential suspects home? Evening all. Is this everyone or is there someone missing? Even after all this, you refuse to call the police. You're impossible. This must be the hired help Meredith was referring to. I believe she said his name was Richard Torres over the phone. He seems less than pleasant, but given the situation, I wouldn't expect anyone to be cheery. Even now he looks well kept, and he has some level of self-control. His contempt is apparent, but he's not indulging in it. I'd have to agree, Mr. Torres. Were not, there are 8 people dead here. Excuse me, 8? What could have possibly happened to have that high of a body count? 7 dead and 1 missing actually. Presumed dead. It's not like he'd have any reason to continue hiding. Oh, this is ridiculous. He's hiding because he killed all those people. It's either him or Richard who's out to get me. Forgive me, but I'm the one out to get you? Oh, that's rich, Meredith. People were killed. I don't think we should be arguing like this. We should be calling the actual police, not some random freelancer. Oh, that's absolutely laughable. Here you have some insignificant little whelp having his 50 minutes of fame. You really think I, Meredith Eloise, would invite an ant like Alexander Florence to my midnight dinner as an equal? You're fleeting entertainment at best, so act like it. Hi Dom, and welcome to the transmission. Or do you prefer Dom or do you prefer Dom-alarm? Alexander Florence. I could have sworn I heard that name on the news before, but I'm drawing a blank. I'll have to inquire more about him later. He seems nice enough, but what would possess him to wear nitrile gloves at a party? I may not be local law enforcement, but I'll get you the same results. The killer or kills will be found and brought to justice. Now if you would all be so kind, I'd like to garner a few testimonies of the evening from you all. Then you'll be referred to Dom as henceforth. After which, I'd like to see the crime scene. Is that acceptable? If I'm going to solve this tonight, I'll have to keep them from tearing each other's throats out. Ah well. I don't think that quotation mark is supposed to be there, but small stuff. Fine. Since you're already here, we might as well make use of you. Well, fine. If everyone else agrees, there's no use arguing. Wonderful. If I ask that while I'm interviewing one of you, the other 2 wait out. No. Wonderful. I ask that while I'm interviewing one of you, the other 2 wait outside. Let's get this underway. So, any preference, chat on who I should go interview first? And while chat is thinking, I will say I am quite impressed so far with the presentation of the visual novel. There has been quite a few fluid action that has kept the eye on it, especially with the character introductory slides that it has done. Seems like chat's a bit slow, so I'm gonna take the decision. Let's go with the eagle first. How can I help? Detective Morgan, right? Ah, this is cool as well. Let's go with... Tell me about yourself. Who is Alexander Florence? Well, I'm a nurse practitioner. I take care of patients at the behest of their assigned doctor. I basically act as the hands of practicing physicians. We spend most of the time with patients. I am only here because I saved a patient who was having a stroke while their hospital doctor was out on a golfing retreat, skipping their rounds for 3 days. Leo Jackson was his name. He's both a physician and a psychiatrist, so he still takes some hospital work. Was it a particularly unique that he wasn't there? Doctors have to do daily rounds with patients admitted to the hospital, or at the very least, find someone to cover the shifts. The hospital didn't assign this patient a replacement physician, and nurses can't do much without a doctor's order. I technically acted out of line when I took charge, but he had a stroke and needed to be saved. I'm just lucky I was caught on camera and covered. It saved my job. But you would have done the same even if you would have been fired? I'd rather be jobless with a clean conscience than keep my employment and lose my mind. So yes, even if it meant the end of my time at that hospital, I would have done it. Except now I'm surrounded by big dogs and they're all so much more experienced than I. You mean everyone here at the party? Yeah, it's intimidating. I'm not really sure if this will bring us up to speed, but so let's go with tonight's events first. Could you tell me a bit what happened tonight, just to get some perspective? Right, you would need that. I arrive at the venue, I'm not sure if it's the place because the gate is so far from the house itself. It just doesn't feel right, you know? I get a bit turned around, end up wasting time making sure it's really the place and wind up there basically lost. I'm behind one of the doctors who we work with, Dr. Edwards, Brooke Edwards. They take our phones for some security reasons and we're let inside. Everyone is a decent bit older than me, well, excluding Felix. Tell me about this Felix fellow. Felix McCain. He's the other brother that was on site along with Richard. He seemed nice enough, we talked and got to know each other. But yes, they took our phones and... Rewind, your phones were taken, nobody had phones on them? No, nobody was allowed to keep their phones on them. The butler, Richard, put them in a box and stored them elsewhere. I'll have to add checking those phones to my to-do list. What's next? They took our phones, dining room, charcuterie... Felix, yes! Felix then asked if he could show me some of the paintings upstairs in the guest room. So he takes me there, we talk, and then we go back downstairs to the party. As we're leaving, I noticed that Richard was upstairs too, talking with Miss Eloise. I don't think he notices us. Something more definitely happened with Felix and Alexander, but I don't have anything to go off of with that yet. I'm more interested in... Can you recall what the tone was like between Meredith and Richard? It seemed like they were trying to yell softly. Whisper yelling, but I didn't catch more than that. I don't consider myself a nosy person, I'm also going to start there. Anyway, I returned to the party, I ate some food, but something doesn't agree with me. Maybe it was the oysters. Maybe what was talk about ending this workers' strike travesty, I don't know. So I head to the bathroom. While I'm there, the lights go out and I can still hear everyone calling for help. The sounds of tables being knocked over, the muffled panic just beyond the back wall of the bathroom I'm in. Was there anything strange that you noticed during the blackout? Anything at all? Something that sticks out during all that chaos? I don't think so. It was... Ah! Here we go. He just needed a little nudge. A light under the bathroom door. It was blue like a phone screen. I'm pretty sure. A phone screen? I didn't make sure who had a phone during the blackout. I just froze. Something in the back of my mind was telling me that if I moved a muscle, it would end on me too. Even after the lights came back on, I couldn't budge. Not until I heard Richard's voice and Miss Eloise screaming. I left the bathroom only after Richard found me. That's when I saw everyone else dead. And this is a very charming face, I'll tell you what. He is about to pass out. After that, I don't think I could really do or say much until you arrived. I'm still kind of, I don't know. I mean, disbelief. They're all dead, aren't they? It's not the same as losing a patient. You're prepared for that possibility. Not this. The concept of murder weighs more heavily on him than it does for me. I don't know what that says about me. Well. Tell me your thoughts on Richard. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a hitman. He could be a Lane Spawn type. Maybe he's an ex-secret agent that works for an affluent drug rep because he's got some dirt on the CIA. I don't see those things that. He just seems mysterious. Right. Do you think he's capable of committing murder? I'd have a hard time believing anyone would be. It's not something I have to think about. Tell me something. You're the one who thinks Felix is dead, right? Why? Well, you're going to think it's stupid. If he were alive, I feel like that means he was the one who did this. That's how it usually goes down. The person in hiding has the secrets. I just don't want to believe he'd kill 7 people. Well, I guess that means then that the one who is alive is Felix. How do you think of Meredith? Intimidating? I can't even say her first name without feeling an icy hand on my shoulder. She has this aura around her. I can easily understand how the local medical field revolves around her. So you admire her? Admire? I guess you could call it that if you squint hard enough. It's more like having the fear of an all-powerful god keeping you in line. You didn't have a phone, right? Not during the party. Those are the rules here, I guess. Did you have access to the landlines in the house? I believe I saw one, yes? And I suppose I could have called... Was there an explicit reason you didn't call the police? Miss Eloise. I was out of sorts when things started going south, and she was the host after all. Both she and Richard seem so much more capable at handling a situation like this. I barely knew the victims. Barely knew this part of town. I just found myself standing on the sidelines, relying on the two to handle it. Makes sense, I suppose. Right, time for the most important questions. Coffee or tea? Use. I'm a butterfly who lacks sugar. It must be past this child's bedtime. He can seriously disregard both options for juice. Yeah, that seems about that. Let's go with Tigress. What do you want to know, detective? So, tell me, coffee or tea? Are you being serious right now? She's glaring at me. Oh, she got quite a scary glare. Coffee, creamer but no sugar. Oh, I'm similar, but a nice mixture gives it a bit more of an energetic kick. Ask me actually relevant questions, please. If looks could kill... Well... Tell me about yourself. What makes Meredith Eloise tick? Is this truly necessary? Alright, it's standard procedure for a reason, ma'am. Building a mental profile of all parties in the scene is one of the most important things in an investigation. Knowing how everyone thinks, moves and acts brings me one step closer to identifying the perp. That's all well and good, but you make it sound like I'm a suspect. I haven't ruled anyone out yet. Even the most obviously innocent must be ruled out first. Though I'm fairly certain she'd hunt me for sport if she was sure she'd get away with it. Fine. It's simply that there's not much else to know outside of what you probably already heard. Humor me. Well, I've got one beautiful husband, 2 fine kids, and a majestic reputation. Of course my company sells the wondrous miracle drug, Mirazone, but even that is only the second field to my greatest talents. I built connections with just about every prominent figure in the medical industry, every regulatory agency and every politician that could ever think of proposing a bill of law. I bring the most capable people together, foster the best partnerships and, when the time is right, solve problems. No one works here without my seal of approval, and no medical treatment goes to market if I don't say so. Right, gotcha. Could you tell me a bit about tonight, sir? Where were you and what were you doing? Of course, dear. Where to begin? Tonight was the midnight dinner. We had invited 8 people, and by the time the party started, I had already sent away the caterers as well as my usual staff. I wanted to keep a light crew, as they don't typically behave themselves with guests. How so? As for Richard, my staff skews younger. It's one of my husband's little quirks, you see. He likes hiring youngsters fresh out of high school or college, aged at the oldest. It's such a hassle. They don't have any manners. Always trying to network with my guests, hoping for a job offer or some other kind of insignificant breadcrumb. Uh-huh. What about your husband? Wasn't he in attendance? Goodness, no. That slush is nothing more than arm candy, you know how that goes. I'm afraid I don't, ma'am. You can't spell it out for me. Now that's also a very charming face. Maxwell has some good expressions. Goodness, detective. You don't bring sugar unless you want to sweeten a deal. Anyhow, there were 11 of us total if you include my 2 employees and myself. The party started without much issue. I needed to talk to Mickey about his radio show, so I took him upstairs to discuss privately. Hold on, by Mickey do you mean Mickey Gordon, the nutrition guru? Mikey Gordon, that's right. He's a nutritionist who markets vitamin supplements for men. I couldn't remove the one Gladiator commercial from my head if I tried. Those tunings left very little to the imagination. Yes, it was a private conversation, so I won't regale you with the details. Richie came up because I was needed downstairs, and I went back to the dining room. Was what he needed particularly urgent? No. Why do you ask him? Alex told me he saw you two having a tense discussion. Well, Alexander should mind his own business. I had just been gone from the party for too long, and Rich was keeping track of time for me. He does his job, and he does it well. Now, where was I? Yes, I went back to the dining room and rejoined the party. Later, I needed to make a call, so I went to the adjoining kitchen, plugged in the phone as its battery had died, and then the blackout happened just as it gained enough power to turn on. That's when I heard it, screaming, but I could tell it was in the other room. Sorry, it's difficult keeping myself composed. The pain they must have gone through. Her gaze is vacant, but not distant. She's trying to hide her shock and horror. She's surprisingly effective at it. I guess it wouldn't make sense as she's a sales rep. Unfortunately for me, it means that it's ambiguous whether or not she's actually distressed. I'll have to look into that later. The lights came back on. I think that was Richard's doing. I checked the dining room and everyone in there was dead. I was told you also screamed. Well, yes, it was unbecoming, but I could scarcely control myself. To my knowledge, I could have been the last person alive there. Luckily for myself, that was not the case. After we reconvened together in the kitchen, I called you. And after you called, you all waited in the foyer? Yes we did. So, why me? Over the police, that is. You made the right decision, but not everyone would register that. What made you? Simple. If the headline is about the killer rather than a murderer murdering my dinner, it reflects better on me. You buy me time for my reputation to remain untarnished. And you use the phone you borrowed to call me, yes? Yes. In fact, I still have it on me. Is it necessary for the investigation? No, but I'll keep it in mind. Let's see, what else do we have? Tell me about the other employee of yours. Felix, was it? I would have fired him if only that didn't involve severance pay. I've been telling my contacts in the Senate that we must simply do away with this workers' rights travesty, but I'm afraid they're too afraid of backlash. That left me shackled to that rat, Felix. He was a worthless do-nothing who only wants to smoke the devil's lettuce and spread his malaise to my other workers. And the worst part is that he does exactly the bare minimum. He squirts around doing illicit drugs on the clock, which I know he does. I just can't prove it yet. He's slitting a snake, not to make my life worse. He's probably off somewhere completely unaware of what has happened tonight. Well, that's certainly one way to introduce a character. Richard Torres. First word that comes to your mind. Go. Smart. Okay, now the rest of the words. Uh-huh. He's smart. I kept him on for years because he's a good leader. He keeps the house clean. He can fill in for the chef if need be. He's also a crafty wretch who wants my empire to burn. Understood. So tell me, what you think of Alexander? A child in a gentleman's club? Excuse me? We're adults. He's barely out of college. He's only here because he was filmed doing his job in front of a camera, so I had to begrudgingly make nice with that infant in scrubs. The only admirable thing about him is that he clearly cares about his caring for the patients. Well, that's what the job is about, right? It's one part, yes. And then electric chair. So what's this I hear about Richard and Felix's date with an electric chair? Right, I have a recent suspicion that either of them would conspire to see my downfall. Downfall? If I wanted to ruin someone, I'd imagine that it would be a bit more direct than killing almost everyone but them. It's my reputation I value, not my life. The name Meredith Eloise is a brand, detective, a symbol of power. History is meant to echo it with reverence. This massacre is a stain upon my good name. It's a desecration of my own altar, and if I can't handle this swiftly, I might as well have had a bullet in my head. The only difference is that this death is slow and agonizing. I ask for your account. You don't need to swirl your wine glass around, clear your throat, and not drink in it for dramatic effect. Detective, those who died, those poor souls strewn on my foyer. Perhaps they were the fortunate ones tonight. There will be no more worries for them. Their families, I am sure, had the means to give them the lavish funerals they deserve. But me? I will have to endure this attack against my honor. I will have to bear this pain, detective, this horrible grief. Okay, ma'am, but let's return to Felix and Richard. What motive do they have? They're heathens dissatisfied with their wages and contract. Richard is also thinks I slighted him over a personal matter. A personal matter? Care to elaborate? No. I shifted bosses a justification for one body, but 7 or 8? That wouldn't crack. If I'm to suspect Richard, I need something stronger. Same with Miss Eloise. Well, Richard's time. What do you need from me? Coffee or tea? Black tea with milk. Anything else would be an affront to my taste buds. Tell me about yourself. What makes Richard Torres tick? I'm the head caretaker of Meredith Eloise's residence. I help with cooking, cleaning, and managerial work for any events Meredith hosts. I have a husband, no children, and a stable job position. Satisfied? No, but I get you don't want to answer this question in earnest. Tell me about what happened tonight. Of course, before the party, I worked with the caterers to prepare the food. I received a call from my husband, who is one of the victims in this. He wanted to RSVP late, but knew to call me since technically the registration period had passed. Your husband? I'm deeply sorry for your loss. I can't imagine what you must be going through right now. My feelings are of little consequence. What's important is that the killer is caught. Now then, from where I left off... I of course foresaw this and RSVP'd for him, so the call was meaningless. When the party started, I took everyone's phones in order to restrict any photography at the event. Everyone's phones were taken away? Did you or Meredith have yours? When on the premises, I rely solely on the landlines in the house, and Meredith partakes in the same restrictions to be fair to the other guests. As the party begins, I remain in the foyer to prevent people from wandering upstairs without proper supervision. After the party started, Meredith goes off with a business associate to discuss a private matter. I spoke with Meredith. The associate was Mickey Gordon, yes? Yes, that is correct. Can you tell me more about him? I refuse. Why is it tight-lipped about this Mickey fellow? There has to be something going on with him. Soon after the lights in the foyer were flickering, I know in a cause I head into the kitchen and find that my subordinate Felix McCain is charging his phone in a faulty outlet. It's located next to the stove in the kitchen and intends to trigger the circuit breaker. I unplug it, return his phone to him, and give him a lengthy lecture about this fact I'm telling you now, and then head back into the kitchen to serve the next round of appetizers. Once I return to the dining room, Felix is gone, so I'm left to do this myself, at which I return to my post in the foyer. Then, once I realize that Meredith is still upstairs, I go up to gently remind her that she has a party to run. Was the discussion particularly heated? Of course not. It was brief and she headed downstairs shortly after. So it wasn't an argument? No. I can't possibly imagine what would give you that impression. They were definitely fighting about something, but I don't exactly have anything that can tell me about what it was. After Meredith returns to the party and I to my post, I have a discussion with my partner, it's brief, and he returns to the party. Are you going to tell me what it was about? No. The power goes out soon after. I simply head outside to manually reset the circuit breaker. It requires a key to open and it's on the outside of the house. Once the power comes back on, I head back inside. How did you see in the dark? Why is he looking at me like that? Why did you flash me with that? Mini flashlight. I keep it on me at all times. I tend to avoid the blue light ones. I keep myself particularly red on these sorts of subjects. I'm heard that bluer lights cause eye strain. So don't worry about the little flash harmed you in any meaningful way. Cute. You can't just flash someone and tell them to man up. What is it up with this guy? Anyhow, soon after the lights came back on, I heard Meredith scream, so I rushed to her aid and found a pile of dead bodies in the dining room. After that, I ascertained Alexander's location while looking for the 2 potential survivors. It was the shortest away in the nearby bathroom. In that time, Meredith made a call, which we later learned was to you, and now we're here. So you left Meredith alone? How did she look? Yeah. She had blood on her dress and looked as she had just seen 7 corpses in the dining room. So Dom, knowing that you're the writer, how long would you say that this visual novel is? Just so I know just how much water I should prepare for my trough. So, your subordinate Felix is missing? Yes. Do you know where he could have gone? Not particularly. Whenever he skips out on work, he knows just where to hide. I no longer waste my energy looking for him. So what do you think of the juice drinker over there? Infant. Just infant? Infant. So, what do you think of Meredith? She's my boss. And she's my boss. Gotcha. Now this should be totally doable. So, just a quick question. Why didn't you call the police? I trusted Meredith to handle it when she said she would. Then she called you. So you don't think she did well? Do you have a police badge? You don't need to answer that. Next question. Alright, we seem to have a good grasp on the situation. I think I have all the information I need from everyone. Could you show me where the phones are kept? Of course. I'll take you to the storage room and leave you to your work. I need to start knocking out possibilities now that I have a vague picture of the evening. First one on the list will be knowing the phones were out of play. If someone was smuggling their phone around, it could complicate the picture of the evening. Alright. Eagle mentioned blue light. The Orca has a blue light. That also means that he walked past the bathroom door when it was dark. Not really like it's all that important, it was just a flash in my hard drives. Boxes. More boxes. Boxes everywhere. The storage room is a complete maze. I know Rich had said they'd be in the back when we were coming up here, but how am I supposed to get back with how this place is set up? I thought I might be able to check out the attic if I could find a path to it from here. But this place is so cluttered that it'd take forever to find. The stairs upstairs might not even be here. My poor curiosity is going to die in this affront to organization. Oh, wait, is this the back wall of the room? Yes, I think it is. Let's see. Ah yes, here's the phone box. At least the investigation will live to see another day. Let's open it up and... Huh? 3 phones. There are only 3 phones in here. The first one is small and sleek. It's obviously a newer model, an expensive one at that. I imagine it probably belongs to either Meredith or one of the other affluent guests. Another one is simpler model from a few years ago, at least I think so. I feel like I've seen it before at the very least. It's very modest. And then there's this third big phone. Looks to be some sort of landline, but it's been disconnected and tossed in this box haphazardly. Strange. You'd think they would have put this in here as a gag. I can't imagine this was actually someone's phone. I guess they couldn't. Suddenly, the detective's surprise, the phone begins ring-a-ringing. This doesn't make any sense. This is a landline phone. What is this thing supposed to be connected to? Naturally, Maxwell's first instinct is to pick up the phone. Call it the detective's curiosity, the phone shouldn't have been able to ring. So he wanted to see what trick this was, but as soon as he picks it up... Please stay on the line and do not turn around while we transfer your call. This call may be monitored for quality assurance. The phone chimes with a robotic yet cheery tune. His mortal mind may not quite comprehend it, but it's opened up a door he won't so easily close. Before the detective can think of dropping the phone, its cord springs to life and wraps around Maxwell's arm. It slips around his sleeve, spirals around his forearm, and digs into Maxwell's arm as if it were a needle. It's a stinging sensation at first, but then it becomes white hot, burning away in a flash into a cold wave of numbness. It's as if his arm is frozen, disconnected. Shit, I gotta get this thing off me. It was obviously paranormal. I was dumb not to fall face first into it. It's practically fused to my arm. This is Maxwell Morgan's first rodeo. As a detective, he's dealt with the odd vengeful ghosts here and there. The world is filled with many such supernatural creatures right under everyone's nose. It's not uncommon to go your whole life without encountering the paranormal, but to those cursed with the truth, they find themselves being pulled back into brushes against it again and again. I gotta call someone. Let's see if you gotta be kidding me. What do you mean there's no signal in here? I gotta get out of here. I have to. Maxwell stops. I need to leave, but there's something behind me. I can't bring myself to turn it on, much less move. I know there's no draft in here, but there's a cold breeze brushing up the back of my neck. My hands are clamming up, as if my whole body would rather shut down than move. But yet something is prodding at me. In the back of my mind, I can feel it tugging at me. It's daring me to try, to really test and see if I can't move. It'll be easy to move, but what then? There's something I shouldn't see. It could... Maxwell can't continue his thought. He doesn't want to consciously finish the thought. To him, thinking it's a possibility is tantamount to making it real. It will be a consequence that's on the table. After all, mortals are frail. He knows not to toy with forces he does not yet understand. It's the quickest way to a grave. Congratulations! You, Maxwell Michael Morgan, are our 100th customer. We will now connect you to our first available representative. Wow! 2 customers in one night! I must be the luckiest demon on the face of Earth. The cord squeezes around Maxwell's arm. His muscles twitch and his fingers wriggle in seemingly random directions. The point where the cord dug into his body squelches, but the detective can't even feel the pain he'd expect from it. It's as if his arm is not his own. He can't pull the phone down. A demon. This is the worst possible explanation I could get for what happened here tonight. If some unnatural monstrosity is at the root of this, then it'll be impossible to prove this case in court, much less get everyone left through the night now that's attached to my arm. I need to find a way to deal with this thing and do it quickly. Who are you? What do you mean by customer? Who am I? Who is anyone? My true name is unintelligible to mortals to the point that you'd probably bleed from your ears, pass out and puke oysters if I tried telling you. So, then what am I supposed to call you? Patience, patience. Anyhow, it's a complex question for sure, but for you, I'll grade you with at least the basics pleasantries. You can refer to me as the Necronomicon, Necronomiphone, or if we become good friends, you can call me Necro. Okay, Necronomicon. What do you mean by customer, and who was the last customer you had tonight? You did mention that. Simple! You are a customer. By answering the phone, you initiate a non-refundable, irrevocable, transplanar, one-sided and non-consensual contract with me. You give me a wish, and I assist you in granting it with my patented underworld assistance. As to your other question, don't worry about it. After all, a demon doesn't pact and tell. I highly doubt you'd keep that card close to your chest if you thought the knowledge would be unimportant to me. He either knows who I am, or at very least what I'm here to do. Well, if you obey my wishes, then I'll ask you to dislodge yourself from me pronto and end this process. Request denied. As per the vibes of the contract, I hold the right to refuse any request that defeats the purpose of this call. After all,
You're making a deal with a demon. You're supposed to ask for someone's blood and have it come at a great personal cost, or reach for something grandiose and lose yourself in the process. Come on, play the game. You can't play games in good faith, right?
You just said that I'm meant to lose myself in the process. I'm not catching any good fate vibes from you.
Sir, I'm a demon and fate is for mortals. Not having beliefs, morals, and attachment is part of the package. Now, let's drop this charade and get on to the bloodbath.
I'm not exactly a vengeful person. My life is fine as it is and all. I need right now to solve this murder and missing persons case.
You know, I used to be a book. I had this mystical air about myself with some bloke's skin face for my cover. But people used to be intimidated by books, you know.
Because of the skin face?
No, it's because I was extra thick and full of terms and antisocial guidelines. Also, people were illiterate. But nowadays, everybody has a phone. They're quickly becoming an extension of the human soul itself. Can you imagine it? You can talk to anyone with a phone at any time. You can call them, text them, or take pictures with them on these tasty little metallic bricks of wonder. People don't need phones, but once they had them in their lives, they become impossible to remove. Look, what I'm trying to tell you is that necessity is relative. You don't feel like I'm making a wish now, but everyone can change. I'm sure you can develop a new need. I recommend a taste for blood. Mortals love blood. They just need a reason. Love, money, hate, desperation, envy, or maybe a special combination? I could go on and I all night too. I'm not the one who'll die if he hangs up anyhow.
You forced me into this process without my foreknowledge, and now you tell me I'll die if I don't take this shit deal you trust upon me?
Yes! Here, let me help. I'll give you some easy options to choose from. Money, fame, love, don't be modest.
Now these are some options. Hi Husky, welcome to the vocal straining stream, or also known as Asher doing a bunch of voice acting at the same time. Hopefully I can remember all the voices that I'm giving everyone. In case you're curious as well, you're in the chat with one of this game's developers. So in case you have any questions about Dead Ringer, you can also ask them. But let's see. And there we have him, Dom. Let's end all wars, I'll say. Fine, end all wars. It's vague, but it can't possibly do anything that broad in scope.
A little philanthropic for my taste, but I can make it work. Thank you. Your patronage is always appreciated. Please wait while your request is processed.
All things considered, that case was much easier than I thought it'd be. It's astonishing that I was able to figure out the murder was committed by Redacted simply through a slip of the tongue. I guess a good cold read saves so much more time compared to actual investigation. I'm just glad I don't have to prove it in court, and just like Ma used to say, the real key was the clues we found along the way. Now then, let's see what's on the news. In today's news, hold on, we're gonna have a special briefing, yeah? It seems as though nuclear Armageddon is upon us, folks. Every major world powers unleash the full brunt of their nuclear arsenal upon each other, and it's only a matter of hours before the bombs drop and we're plunged into nuclear winter. Go home to your wives, husbands, and kids. Tell them you love them. It's an honor being your newscaster. I hate demons. Yeah, no, that'd be an awful idea. I really shouldn't test the powers of something I don't understand. Well, but it would be fun to see what the other options are, but I'll leave that up to you, chat, to try out. I thought through your suggestions, my own ideas, and any other loophole I could possibly try, but in the end, I think I know what I need.
Oh, Something scandalous and bloody, I hope.
I need to cover my base in case it's actually incredibly powerful. If I can limit what I can do, I might just be able to manage him. It's simple. Help me solve this case and let me be specific. Assist me in solving it, but don't do my job for me. I don't care how powerful you are, we're gonna do this the old-fashioned way. Investigation, interrogation, and deduction. No killing, no irreversible curses, nothing you can do to cause irreparable harm. Okay?
You think you're real smart, don't you? Why should I agree to something so limiting?
Because I'll add a stipulation. If you can't solve it, you'll be freed from your blocky metal coil to cause mischief on this unsuspecting world. As long as you don't impede the investigation and help me when I ask, this condition will hold. Sounds like a good deal for the both of us, yes? I'm putting a lot of stock on this current case, but with what's probably the murder weapon on hand, I shouldn't be too hard to figure out who had his phone before I did.
Let me rephrase what I just said. You're smart. You know what? It's a deal. You'll receive my assistance for this investigation, but if you cannot solve this case come sunrise, the contract between us will become null and void, releasing me from my immortal binds. Thank you. Your patronage is always appreciated. Please, while your request is processed.
I think if I recall right, it should have been a month for them to make this visual novel. Though you can probably correct me if I'm wrong on that, Dom. Ah, and I completely missed it because both you and Husky had the same color. Welcome, Blaine.
A circle traces itself around Maxwell Morgan's shoes. It glows a bright green whilst the lights above the detective flicker some otherworldly lights. Inside the circle itself, a sigil begins to form. Lines dance in different directions and compiled into a complex arcane formation. Then once it stops, 7 flames circle around Maxwell, which spiral into the air and then scatter in different directions. They slip through the bounds of the storage room, spreading out around the house.
Fancy special effects. What was that exactly?
Simple! I summon the spirits of the people I killed. Well, the ones I killed under orders. All my spells and functions come with conditions, exceptions, twists, and so on. There's no satisfaction with a hand wave and a wish fulfilled.
Spirits of the dead, huh? He also basically confessed to the fact that his last customer was the one who ordered him to kill everyone. Actually, if I could get their testimonies, I could form a more accurate picture of the evening even past my normal snooping. Ghost words won't fly in court, but I can figure out how to make it stick. Not like demon magic would fly in court either. Not in this district at least. Fine, thank you. I have to check out the crime scene, so if you could detach from my own, that would be appreciated.
There's no need. Watch this.
Oh, he's gone. That's pretty convenient.
Isn't it? Now I can talk to you without anyone hearing me. Can't read your thoughts though. You'll still have to speak to me and sound like a crazy person. No, tell you how. You got a timer to beat, mortal. I'm rooting for you.
This guy was too chipper about this whole thing, but I guess there's no worrying about it now. I still have my head, and I had to use it. I should note everything down I found particularly important. I'll take the other 2 phones as well, should come in handy when I'm interrogating. New evidence gained. Arcane evidence. Let's see. Yeah. Bathroom lights, Meredith and Richard, Meredith's account, Necronomicon, empty phone box, and mini flashlights. Those are our clues so far. Oh yeah, no, there are plenty of cool animations and neat effects here so far. It's been a blast to see. What does this button do?
It's been so soon and you already want my help? I literally just woke up, so I bet you know more than me. If you want my advice, use those legs and leave this room.
Background button, neat. And that's storage. I completely forgot to press all my buttons before, but hey, let's go. Let's head to the foyer. The murder scene is in the dining room, but first I need to speak with Richard. Richard, You waited for me. Of course. If you were to run into trouble, it would be prudent for me to be within earshot. You have a good point. Now then, was there something you needed? Most of the phones were missing from the box. Did you not collect everyone's phones? Ah, this is quite embarrassing, I have to admit. Every year, I confiscate the phones and I try to hide them in a new place. But the guests always seem to find where they're hidden, no matter how creative the hiding spot. It became too difficult to enforce, so we don't even bother anymore unless someone pulls their phone out in the open. Then, whose phones are these? They were still the ones in the box at the time. The higher end one either belongs to Meredith or one of the guests. I have no clear idea of who the second one would belong to. I don't think I should show him the Necronomicon. There'd be too much to explain when I'm supposed to be the one asking the questions. Besides, he could be the culprit. Now that's a funny question. So, let's talk about Felix. When was the last time you saw him? If he died, there should be a body somewhere. Aside from my brief scolding of him, I don't remember seeing him for the entire party. At the very least, he hasn't entered the foyer after I spoke with Meredith. I had thought he was in the dining room, but apparently not. Then again, he could have moved about during the blackout. I did give him his phone when I talked to him, so he should still be carrying it. Did anyone in particular have a particularly strange phone? Maybe something that resembled more of a disconnected landline? Not to my knowledge. Did you find a landline in the box? Forget it. It was a strange question and a weird line of reasoning. Understood, but I suggest you keep your intrusive thoughts to a minimum.
Don't worry, I can be your intrusive thoughts. Or would they be extrusive thoughts if they came from me?
Obtrusive. Extrusive refers to geology. Pardon? Sorry, I was just thinking about a rock in my shoe. That's enough. It's time to check out the crime scene. If possible, could you point me in the right direction? Also, I ask that you keep an eye out on the other two, just to make sure everyone's together so that no evidence can be disturbed. Of course, the dining room is down the stairs and to the right.
Walking into the room, Max immediately met with a thick stench of blood and liquor. The metallic smell pierces through the mellow and fermented hints of various fruits. It even has the punch of spilled gastric acid pocketed throughout the poorly lit room.
You think it was Miss Scarlet? Well, that could be a possibility.
Maxwell takes the freshly red painted dining room. Several bodies which have been sliced, cut open and dismembered are spread across the room. One seems to have been cut through by a broken Bible, giving to the blood stain and partially shattered glass beneath the corpse and head and torso.
Ah man, I've given the Necronomicon a wacky voice. I'm already starting to cough. This doesn't bode well. Yeesh, I have to bill Meredith for traumatic exposure fee. You certainly lack subtlety. You killed all these people with a simple wish.
Oh please, there's nothing simple about a wish. Wishes need unpredictable rules, convoluted twisted devilish traps. You gotta earn that brief glimmer of victory before spending the rest of your life in bitter regrets. You put in the stipulation on yours, but typically I add in the conditions for my help. Just look at all these dead bodies here. I told my previous customer I would only kill in pure darkness. I only had such a stipulation because of the wish, but I'm sure it'd be important to your investigation.
What were all the rules to your kill wish? I need to know. I should probably advance my channel a bit by adding in those point redeem things, and probably also add in points. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. I'm gonna refill my water bottle. I need to know.
Sure thing. Now listen carefully. For the purpose of killing a select number of people, 3 conditions must be met. 1. You must remain on the call line while the execution is taking place. Early termination of the phone call will result in cancellation. 2. You must state into the phone where you would like the execution to take place. It must be specific relative to the place you are currently, such as in this house or in the dining room. 3. All targets must be completely shrouded in darkness. Anyone with any light touching their bodies will be unable to be executed. Note, any user of this device can use this kill command as long as they follow the proper instructions. Good enough? Do you want me to repeat it in like a sexy lady voice? I have so many impressions I can try.
No, that's fine. Thank you. I mean, hey, if I have to choke on something, I would most rather choke on my own voices.
Maxwell's eye catch a flicker just beyond the corner of his eyesight. He turns around and squints, looking into what appears to be empty space.
Is that?
A wisp, much like the 7 he saw earlier, now floats right in front of him.
Is this one of the ghosts? Wait, there were 7 of them. If the Necronomicon count didn't kill Felix, then that means he's probably still alive, right?
Aha! It's about time you gain the ability to see them. Now you can talk to ghosts. Come on, try it. Just talk into me and I'll play what they say.
Right, but first I need to clarify something. You spawned the souls of everyone you killed tonight, correct?
Oh, that, of course. All 7 of them were sliced up by my capable claws. Now then, talking to dead people time. I put so much effort into it. Come on, do it, do it.
Fine, fine. We can do your spell.
Yay!
If this is what kids are like, maybe I should tell the husband I'm not ready to be a dad. No. Stay strong. You have work to do.
Just direct your questions to the ghost.
The stench of death isn't getting any lighter. I should wrap this up quick so that someone can come here and actually clean this up. I can move around now freely. That's neat, but let's question this ghost first. Okay, so just call them through you.
The detective summoning the phone to his hand, hesitantly dials a few buttons at random. A dial tone chimes and a ghost in front of Max lights up with an arcane energy. Please hold while we transfer your call. Please hold while we transfer your call.
I can't understand this.
That's strange. Did I kill those so traumatically that they lost their sense of self? Damn, I'm good. Well, new plan. Do you have their phone? Something tied to them should bring back their identity.
I guess. Let's see. None of these phones seem to work.
Well, I guess that means we go phone hunting.
The sense of death isn't getting any lighter. Ah well. Time to go out and... this is so fitting. From collecting gems and dragon eggs to collecting phones. The sitting room. If I wasn't on a job, I would love to sit here and do a crossword. Me and my husband love sitting. Wait a second.
That's a really poorly hitting phone.
You're right. Where's a phone between seat cushions? New evidence gained. Indeed we are. Let's see, let's head outside in that case. Merritt, Richard and Alexander are all out here. I feel it's bad making them wait here, but what needs to be done needs to be done. Oppa. I guess it queued in a couple of clicks for me. More questions? How thrilling. Let's ask for the phone. Is this your phone? Oh, why yes it is. Would you mind returning it? No. I couldn't imagine what you needed for your investigation, but no matter. She seemed mad that I said no. How are you holding up? My house is a murder scene. What do you think? Poorly. Answering rhetorical questions doesn't make you unique. It makes you annoying. Well, thank you, Tiger Lady.
What do you need?
Is this your phone?
Yeah, I really should get a newer model, but phones are so expensive. Besides, I only just make calls and my workplace has me using a pager.
It barely gets any use.
Actually, saying it out loud is convincing me that I don't need an upgrade. If he changes his mind, you should send him to my resume maxi.
Like I'd subject anyone to that.
Excuse me?
Forgive me, I was just thinking about my husband. His phone is getting old, but I never want him to suffer through all the expense of picking up a new device. Some say being frugal is a virtue unto itself, you know? Now I'm just speaking out of my ass. How are you holding up, Champ?
There's at most 5 years of difference between us. Don't call me Champ.
How old are you?
27.
Then there's 10 years. Strange. I thought there'd be a much bigger gap.
Honestly, I thought you were younger than me.
Maybe I was just thrown off by your... Go on, Alexander. Say it.
Never mind.
I shouldn't run my mouth like that. Sorry. It's alright. Here's what indeed. You said your husband was one of the victims. Did I? Yes. I just want to clarify who that husband was. I refuse. Saying it like that makes me feel like it's more important than it actually is, you know? Meredith. I understand you work for Meredith and that your relationship has been fraught. But why do you stick around? Is the pay good? Is the contract bad? Loyalty, I suppose. Loyalty to her. Loyalty to what she represents. Or perhaps it was in hopes of helping my husband. How so? Connections are everything in life. Without them you can't rise in any field. Let alone the medical industry. How are you feeling, Champ? Uninterested in this line of questioning. Better not to poke the bear. Ah well. That's that. Let's head to the foyer then. Empty. My only friend here is the coat rack. So many more things to go. Interrogate chat. I mean, I can interrogate you guys if you want to, but you'll just give me several different answers to the same question. Wowza. This place is a complete disarray. I can't imagine what sort of struggle happened here. Actually, I can. This seems more like something that happened on a date night with my husband rather than a fight to the death. That, and according to both Richard and Meredith's accounts, Mikey was still alive by then. I guess I could check for a phone here as well. Aha! Right under a pillow. Bedazzled engravings in the shape of the name Mikey. Yeah, this is his phone. I wonder. Economicon, I need your assistance.
Sure thing, boss. I bet this guy will be a freak. Who has a old woman's bedroom? Please hold while we transfer your call.
Right then, I guess this is Mikey then. Do I want to torture myself? Probably just a tiny bit. Please tell me you're one of those ghostwriters here to do post-mortem exclusive? No, I'm but a humble private detective here to do my job and get paid. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Wow, you're such a scrawny little dude. God, it's been ages since I saw such a bad case of my parents didn't love me so they never fed me right.
Excuse me?
You just have the look to you, you know? It's not just that you're tiny and easy to throw around, it's something in your eyes. Like, you're still struggling but the light inside you has gone out before life even began. You look like you went to law school, is what I'm saying. Detective Max looks off to the side, rubbing his temples. I usually love my job, but sometimes I regret that I can't kill someone twice. This is one of those days.
Sir,
Hey, don't worry, I get it. You only live once and you kinda messed up this life, but I want you to know that you can still improve your situation. All you gotta do is listen to Mickey Gordon's podcast, reorient every aspect of your life, and buy my products. And to answer your question, thanks to Meredith's help, my subs were all exempt from FDA approval, and you can't legally prove they were poisonous.
And that's not even remotely where I was going with this. You were murdered. You and up to 700 people.
Oh, don't worry, I catch your drift, little dude. I'm all for catching killers and making me look good.
I find it hard to hate people. We all have a right to life, and I wouldn't wish ill upon a bad person even if I wouldn't shed tears upon their downfall. But this man in particular... this fellow is very Tate-coded, I'll say. Right, we have a lot of stuff to go through. So tell me about yourself.
What's there to say? A lot, actually. Women love me, men fear me, and I've got muscles for miles. Plus, I learned that I have a huge Christian following, so I got baptized live on TV by Leo Jackson himself. I'm basically the poster child for strong Christian man. I never even looked at a Bible. Even in that, my ghost is still jacked. Me, if I could do that ghost body position stuff, you could have a gym bro finally growing inside you. The library is not a gym. I'm a simple guy who believes in being fit, being healthy, and catching babes like cops catch bad guys. A wedding ring and babies are my gun and handcuff.
Okay, that's enough about you. Gross. Well, hey, I would just call that effective writing if both you and I are certain to get irritated at him. So what was that about poison earlier? A hoax is what it is. Some lying investigative journalist hack decided it'd be funny and profitable to drag my name through the dirt. You don't drag gold through the dirt. The nutritional supplements I sell on my radio show in stores and otherwise may not be FDA approved, but they are Mickey approved.
People should put their faith in me, not some money-grubbing food government agency. Hell, even I've used the subs once and look at me, I'm still fit and healthy, save for some cuts.
Oh, he doesn't even use the product he's selling as a nutrition guru.
I bet the only reason you're asking about me is this because your mind has been poisoned by Hamilton Green. I don't even know why Meredith still invites him to these events. All he does is hang by the fireplace in the foyer and plot to take over Meredith's seat of power. I bet he thinks he's smart with all the dirt and dead bodies he knows about.
So, what's your relationship to Meredith?
She's literally a goddess on this earth. You know, most women aren't super smart, but she's more than a woman. She's Meredith Eloise.
Ah, I see. You're so casually misogyny, let's try that around.
She helped me grow my wonderful fan base and launch my bustling vitamin supplement based business. I'm a hot commodity and you can't see it thanks to how smart she is. Not only that, her husband is a pretty lucky guy. The baby's smart and she's a 10. If she was my girl, let's just say we'd have a litter of kids.
Straight people. You tend to use childbirth as your point of comparison. Let's go with Richard. So, can you confirm something for me? You were meeting with Meredith here earlier today, correct?
Yeah, we were getting down to business and all that.
And you were interrupted by Richard Torres, yes?
Heh, I'm not gonna be grilled by some bite-sized dweeb. Try again when you hit puberty.
Oh great, he's one of those. Look, I had to find some kind of info to shock him into compliance. I shouldn't ask questions that I don't want answered.
You know, I'm honestly relieved that I'm dead. It means I died a martyr to men everywhere.
He started talking, all I was thinking about asking. Since he's a nutritionist, maybe he has some workout tips. Oh well, that's probably something that can be fixed in a quick update to make it not overlap the edges of the screen here. Or this border. Even if I don't like this man, I feel like I have to ask you. So, how did you get so fit?
Let me level with ya.
You look like a nice guy, so I doubt you ever could reach my level. You're too soft. You're short and nerdy. It's not your fault. Dads have gone soft nowadays. Mine used to beat the shit out of me if I cried or did anything girly. Meant I was weak. I needed to get strong and needed to take it like a man. I only got this way because I sculpted into a man. I worked out and got strong and took respect from him. He was so proud to me when I finally sent him to the hospital for once. Right, I'm sorry. He has the ability to, our protagonist here, Maxwell, has the ability to speak to the dead through this wacky demon-looking phone, the Necronomicon, or Necro for short. So we're trying to solve a murder mystery by speaking to the dead. Sorry, I'm a badass now, and I do the same for my boys. This canon doesn't make girls. I take it back. Alright, understood. There are so far 7 victims. This is one of them. I'm so glad I have coffee on me right now, or else I might actually continue using that bed right now. The stench of death isn't getting any lighter. I should wrap this up quick so someone can come in and clean this up. Okay. Connor, you right? Yeah, read this once. Still doesn't have the phone for it. Damn. Right, let's go head back to the foyer and let's see what we can. Ah, new ghost. Empty. My only friend here is the code track. If Hamilton hung around here all the time, maybe his phone is here. Tossed into the fireplace. Must have had to hide it quickly. Necronomicon, do your thing.
Sure thing, boss. Please hold while we transfer your call.
After dying and being brought back as a ghost, I thought of the perfect lucrative business venture we could go into together. I'll let you in on the ground floor and even give you a loan if you could help me out. I just have a few questions about tonight. That's got nothing to do with my offer, buddy. Just think about it, okay? Well, this is a pleasant looking fox. Know anything about Mickey? Well, I'll tell you this because we're such good friends. I'll tell you this because we're such good friends. We aren't, but I'm not going to interrupt him for that. Mickey Gordon and Meredith Eloise are having an affair. It's been going on for a few months, and the extra kicker is that... well, you should just talk to Mickey about that. I'm sure he'll accidentally give you something even juicier. I even told that information to Leo Jackson. Being the devout Christian he is, I reckon he would devour Meredith with this information. I'll be signing my own death certificate if she or Mikey find out it came from me. So if anyone asks, it came from Meredith. He sure does have the scoop on everyone. Hamilton. So what's the deal with Hamilton? Hamilton Green? Well, I work in medical insurance and we pride ourselves in our profit margins. You wouldn't believe how much money I make alone of rejecting erroneous claims. People buy insurance and think we'll just give them out a blank check. But we will offer those checks to people who've earned it. High denial means the people in need get what they truly deserve. Things like insulin are just commodity anyhow. What company were you partnered with? Scare Care. We care so much, it's spooky. Let me just text my husband that we need to change insurance. Except now it's all for naught. When Meredith Eloise is alive and my legacy will be subsumed by her. It's always the perky ones. They don't contribute anything real. They just fun around a bottle of red and tell them they're center of everything. What I'd give to teach her a lesson. Can you tell me a bit about tonight? Oh, you wish to know about tonight? It was a straightforward night. The party happened and I stuck mostly around the foyer. I had a nice conversation with Richard, watched him go upstairs, and then he, Meredith and Mickey returned together. Did you notice anyone else? No, I don't pay much attention to anyone I don't despise, so I'm not the person to ask. What was interesting is the conversation Richard and Mickey had afterwards. Oh? Are you interested, detective? Ask me about the secrets of this place and I'll tell you. So, are there any fun secrets you know about this group, or even the house itself? I heard you were the person to ask for about fun secrets. Are you interested in my information, detective? I'll tell you if you can pay me. Pay you? In information? It's a transaction. Something to give this soul some rest. I just want some confirmation on something, and because you can't talk to the dead, I knew you can get it for me. I can talk to the people killed today. That still works. I need to confirm something with Leo Jackson. He's one of the victims alongside me, yes? I believe so. Continue. That fossil knows everything there is to know about Meredith's husband. I want to know if his secret is true. Just learn what it is and refer back to me, okay? Okay, fine. This better be worth it. Right, we've got some clues. So, we can leave Hamilton for now. Let's check out the bathroom as well before we go back to the master bedroom. The bathroom is Throne of Kings. I could take a bathroom break, but that'd be unprofessional. It's so close to the dining room, so this may also be part of the crime scene. Nothing here so far. Alright. Back to the foyer. And then let's head back to the master bedroom. Hey, what's up, Buttercup? Yes, have a few questions. Also, you should probably know that Meredith confessed. Huh? She told me you and her were intimate. Yeah, what of it? It's it's pretty dope, right? I get a rep as a freshly converted man of God, but I'm still a hot-blooded man. You're right. I think the whole world would love to know about it too. I'm sure they'll do wonders to yours and her reputation. Wait, you're not serious, right? I was just kidding about it being cool. If Meredith's husbands knew, or even worse, if my fans knew, that wasn't a good Christian boy. I died twice. They must have thinking I deserved to die instead of being the manly savior who died to protect everyone. My optics are people too. Maybe, but I'll need to know you're acting in good faith with me in this investigation, okay? Answer my damn questions and I won't speak ill of the dead. Right, anything you want to know. Right, let's go with Richard. So can you confirm something for me? You were meeting with Meredith here earlier today, correct? Yeah. We were getting down to business and all that. And you were interrupted by Richard Torres, yes? Yeah, he caught me, well, finishing a set. Then he went on to rant about how he went out of his way to make sure I was RSVP'd and that if he knew I'd do this he would... Wait, hold on. He RSVP'd you. Did he do that the day of the event? Yeah? Are you married to Richard Torres? You didn't know? No, I didn't know. I guess that's one way to say yes. I thought you already knew this when you came to threaten me with the affair. Like that my real last name is Torres and the fact that I'm biased in public. God, if Leo knew, he'd be furious. He baptized me, you know? The idea that you knew Mickey Gordon was Mickey Torres was what I was scared of. Well, now I do know because you told me. Fuck! Our deal still stands though, don't worry. Well, or I guess our Orca has a thing for fuckboys. Nothing. Instead of fuckboy with a repeated lapse of judgment. Repeated? Repeated and long-standing. Nothing like menopause to enable. Please stop. Let's see. Anything new here? Nope, nope, nope. Ah, I didn't even notice it. Thank you. Thank you, Blake. Right, let's go with Meredith then. Is that why you slept with her? Yeah. Please don't tell the Sergeant. He scares me. But you're already dead. Just help a homie out here, please. We are not homies. Fine. Right. Poison controversy. So what is about poison earlier? Yeah, I think that's all we're gonna get out of Mickey. Let's head outside then. Let's go and talk with Richard first. You said your husband was one of the victims. Did I? Yes. Just want to clear who that husband was. I refuse. Think like it makes me feel like it's more important than it actually is, you know? Ah well, master bedroom. I saw the state in the master bedroom. How did it get that messy? I hadn't gotten the time to clean it before the party, but seeing as it wasn't going to be used tonight, I assumed I'd have more time. And why did Meredith call the meeting with Mikey in that room? Ah, well, she wasn't aware. I don't think a mess of that scale would be something she wouldn't be aware of. Not only that, she would have been the one to make that mess. Was Meredith Eloise having an affair with Mikey Gordon? This seems more like a question for her. I don't want to know why you weren't forthcoming with this in your testimony. I can understand her not telling me, but why you? It's none of your business, that's all there is to it. Well, alright then. Then we'll double check with Meredith. What's your relationship with Hamilton Green? Hamilton. He's unimportant to me. He's rich, but more of a spider. He catches smaller bugs for me, but I could see myself squashing him if I wanted or had a reason to. He's not annoying enough to destroy, but not useful enough for me to see him otherwise. Brutal. While looking around, I found Mikey Gordon had left his phone in the master bedroom. Yes, what about it? Also, the state of the bedroom, so I need to ask, did you have an altercation with Mr. Gordon? Her face looked almost relieved when I said altercation. Interesting. Altercations, heavens no. Would he have returned to the party if we had fought? I'm sure that even Alexander could attest to this evident truth. Then there must have been an affair. The room was in a complete disarray, so I could hardly imagine what else could have caused it, nor the alleged argument you had with Richard. How did you... No, that's... You miserable little wretch. This conversation is over. If you tell anyone about this, I will bury you. Now I'm starting of it. Maybe I can get some information on Mikey's ghost with this. Wait, she's actually walking away. Oh. Well, I guess that means it's time to head back to the room again. What would be a good thing to double check? Not that one. The poison controversy. Not that one. Ay. Right, that's what I can do with Mikey. Let's see. Double check again. Nope. Ah well, I'm gonna call for help then, because I am feeling a bit stuck on what to do.
Hamilton Green is named Green because he likes money? The man seems like he wants something out of you. Girls love to trade information. Do you have anything he'd want to know?
Alright. Is there a ghost here now? No, there isn't. I guess there's only one person that I didn't talk to, and that would be Alexander.
What do you need?
Nothing new. Yeah, I probably should talk about the fox, about the secrets. I was just looking for a specific secret, but I guess probably the affair might be something that he's interested in. Right, Leo Jackson still. Already know that information. Already knew that information. And nothing will be updated on tonight's events. Huh. That's the rules. Broke no phone rule. Master bedroom. One thing I can think of is to maybe give the phone to Meredith. That may spark something there. But just to be safe, we'll make a save slot here. Wonderful. In fact, here. Right, the phone she borrowed. Can you tell me a bit more about who and where you borrowed it from? I borrowed it from Jasmine Frank. She was one of the late guests. She was a damn good surgeon too. The Academy of Medical Science wanted to have her hands embalmed after her death, enshrined in an altar to science. You know what that? I did not, and I wish I didn't. Let's get back to the phone. Any other relevant information? I think she retrieved it from the bathroom. Bathroom. I have to go to the foyer and check it from there. Ah well, at least we have a new clue to go forward with. Though that is also completely my bad for not actually handing her phone back. Yep, new phone. And we're directed towards the bathroom. Aha, one phone. Exactly one phone. I wonder who it belongs to. So yeah, now we have more phones. We have the borrowed phone and the bathroom phone. Well, maybe with one of these two, we'll be able to talk to the red ghost. Okay, so it's calling goodness for you. The phone acquired from the bathroom buzzes and chimes as if it received a new message.
Maxwell holds that phone up to his face and then holds it out to the ghosts. He perhaps expected the spectre to pick it up, but instead the phone whips open, blaring with garbled noise and slowly pieces itself into human speech. Please hold while we transfer your call.
Interesting. Not only is there no concept of hell, I've been awoken from my slumber by a detective, and I presume my killer. The specter of death looming over you is quite all-encompassing, detective. Looming over me, is she referring to the Necronomicon? Perhaps he has a physical form I cannot see. He would need one if he were to kill multiple people, but that's besides the point. Try to ignore him. I'm eager to figure out what happened here tonight. Would you mind if I ask you a few questions? It's not like my soul has anything to do but rest, so knock yourself out. Judging by the caller ID on her phone, this person seems to be none other than Dr. Jasmine Frank. She's as urgent with a wait list longer than the Golden Gate Bridge, and she seems relatively unbothered with the concept of death. I guess I'll have to find a different doctor if I'm to get my arm lopped off tonight. Okay, so it's time to whip out my questions. Can you tell me a bit about yourself? It's helped to build. You don't need to explain it. I understand what you want. It's simple. I'm a general surgeon who couldn't stop at one specialty. Our mortal flesh is a work of art that I craft and restructure to my liking. That's how I see it. We relinquish control of ourselves so that someone may change what's already written in our bones. Whether erasing an injury, adjusting our physical state, or even tampering with our minds. Surgery is truly a beautiful endeavor. Which is why that is my only regret, to die in such an ugly way, to have my hands go to waste. Death is not something I feared. It's always the way you die, not the inevitability of it. Well then, she's only forthcoming about her inner workings. Do you have a spouse? Kids? Neither. Relationships are for busyness, not for pleasure. Well, at least she doesn't entirely forego human connection. So, tell me about tonight. Was there anything that stood out to you? Hey, we have the coffee cup now. The party starts, phone gets taken, I tolerate small talk with Dr. Edwards, I sneak upstairs to retrieve mine and her phone, I let Brooke have hers while I storm mine in the bathroom. The party itself is its usual, I only attend because it would be unwise to end up on Meredith's bad side. There's a moment where she asks to borrow my phone. I obliged, returned to the bathroom, but instead of taking my phone out, I snatched one of the other phones stored there. I would rather keep access to my divide in case I needed it. It even had a charging cord, so in a way it was an upgrade. Thinking back, it was also a particularly old phone I did not recognize. It was the one you're holding right now. The Necronomicon was hidden in the bathroom. It was right before the blackout as well. Meredith takes the phones, walks in the kitchen, and then the lights go out. I presume I don't need to explain how I was dissected. Frankly, I'm more offended I was butchered by an amateur rather than someone with a semblance of craftsmanship. If I'm going to be brutally murdered, I'd at least like to be a work of art.
Hey, I'm artful, aren't I? It's abstract and splattery. You think so, right, Max?
I deal with courses in my job, but I don't exactly like to think of them as art. Makes me squeamish trying to think of displaying and messing with organs. New evidence. So, you said there's no hell? What is there then? I don't know how I would describe it. It's a bit hazy in my mind, and it's hard to describe, but it's not hell. Like, you're not allowed to talk about it? Precisely. Maybe there is a hell, but I haven't met the required threshold for it yet. Maybe. Who knows? So, the phone you gave to Meredith wasn't yours, given the fact that I have both that phone and yours. You would be correct. What about it? Whose phone was it? It wasn't a phone I recognized, so I wouldn't know. Which means it either belongs to another guest who she doesn't know as well, or maybe it belongs to... I should confirm that later. How do you feel now that you've... Indifferent. I'm surprised you have the confidence to ask a dead woman her thoughts on death. Is it someone I could deliver last words to? Someone who needs closure? The hospital I work at could use a word of encouragement now that their cash cow was ground into burger. Oh, please inform the Academy of Medical Sciences they can still enshrine my hands if they are still presentable. Right, maybe not. Do you know any good spots that other victims would have hidden their phones? It seems that their souls got a bit liquefied with all this trauma and gore, so they needed their devices to couple them back together. Right, I guess there's Leo. He acts like he's told to use anything but a pager and a landline. He just leaves it in his coat. I've seen him get caught in the act before, so I'm confident it'll be there. There's a coat rack in the foyer. One of those coats has to be his. Thank you very much, Jasmine. Let's head back to the foyer. Here we go, I phone in his right pocket. Now I just need to find this ghost. Oh, where should I go? Well, probably the bathroom. No ghost here yet. Then probably the sitting room. There we have a ghost. Let's see if we can materialize this ghost.
The night's going by so fast, isn't it? Please hold while we transfer your call. Please hold while we transfer your call.
The Lord must be testing me. Excuse me?
Excuse me?
They send a demon to me in my slumber to try and convince me I'm dead. I shall not be fooled by your illusions. But you... I shall not be deceived, serpent! Yeah. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Now leave me be, Spectre. The enemy hath no power over me.
Oh, this one's gonna be fun. I think he's refusing to materialize until you prove he's dead.
Prove he's dead?
Oh, you know, I think you must have a phrase, proof of life. Try getting him some proof of death.
Let's see. Maybe from someone outside I can get a proof of that. Yeah. Up. Not helpful. Probably best place to get a proof of that would be the dining room. I'm going to sort through these dead bodies just to find something that resembles Leo. How did I end up here? I should just wish for immortality. I probably would have been made in some kind of immortal ghoul that doesn't care about blood and gore. But I reckon I'd go home and try to kill my husband only to come to my senses as I feed on him, life draining from his eyes.
Trudging through the blood and cartilage, Maxwell spots a body that is somewhat untouched by the mayhem. Leo's body is cleanly cut in half. His hands are skinned down to pulpy red flesh, and if it were not for his anguished expression, you might even mistake him for sleeping amongst the dead. It takes a few minutes for Maxwell to acknowledge what he must do. He makes a quick stop to the kitchen and shops for a knife. I need a knife that's serrated. A straight edge would have a harder time sawing through the flesh. It would be cleaner, but I don't need clean. I need it to be over. Right. I should put on some gloves so I'm not getting my DNA all over the crime scene. He returns to the body once he finds a robust enough bread knife and a pair of barbecue-grade black nitrile gloves.
I'm so sorry about this.
Detective Maxwell steals his result and begins the grim task, trying his best to keep his mind as distant as possible from the gruesome sights ahead. What the hell, Detective? You look so dreamy like that. All you're missing is a freaky mask and you'll be so ready for a night out in town.
Shut up. Seriously, stop.
You know, after you failed to solve this case, you and I can spend some quality time together. Hell, I wouldn't mind you having a go at my new body with a bread knife.
And now I have a disembodied head. This man died with a look of complete anguish plastered onto his face. I don't know whether the distant look in his eye is worse than it making eye contact. If it wasn't so squishy, I could tell myself it wasn't real. I need to see if telling this to a therapist will trigger a tell clause. This one's gonna leave a mark on me. Could have been better. Your grip on the knife was too tight and that made your cut sloppy. I just wanted to get it over with.
No, she's right. There's an art to it. This way the mortician will struggle to stitch it back. I mean, it's not like he's getting an open casket funeral after what I did to him. Well, at least he wasn't decapitated.
Fixing his sloppy cut would have been no problem for me, but one cannot find genius among butchers. All I ask is that you don't try to dissecting me. At least go to medical school first, or take a culinary class. All in all, C+. I can at least respect that you did not break into tears.
That's right, Max. Don't give up. You're the next of a great beheader.
Why am I being graded on head severing? I mean, hey, what is a phone to do besides just flirt with whatever he's bound to? And I'm glad to hear that you're having a good time, Dom. Right. Back to the sitting room. You get to the sitting room from... There we go. The sitting room. Don't think about the head you're holding. Don't think about it. Once again, I told you that you do not have... is that... And Moses said unto the people, Fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. I hold my peace. Hold. That's my head. I just like asking questions to find the person who caused this. I see. I was not yet destined for the pearly gates as I'm still needed on this earth.
Oh, if there were pearly gates, that's not where you were headed. I'm gonna have fun with you.
I'll just return this head to the dining room later. I mean, hey, blood red is a fairly fine color, I'd say. Can you tell me about tonight? Surely. I arrived an hour early so that I may pray over and bless the prepared courses for tonight. I also provide spiritual counsel to Meredith's husband. He seeks my advice quite often. He left once the party started, so I joined the flock in the mingling. I spent most of my time in the sitting room, which was relatively undisturbed. I took those moments to read from Esther, as I appreciate her story. She rises to power in the kingdom of Persia and prevents the eradication of her people. Even the frailest lamb can be powerful emissary of the Lord. Right. You said relatively undisturbed, so there was a disturbance? Yes. Alexander came into the room and asked me if it was a charging station. I presumed it had to do with the phone, so I shooed him off, but I soon became hungry. I joined the others, and then... you know the rest. Can you tell me a bit about yourself? I am simply God's servant, enacting this will in my profession as a psychiatrist. I heal the minds of the sick with prayer and, if needed, medication. Those who have lost their way, especially so far as has succumbed to mental illness, needs guidance. The Lord speaks through me to heal.
Got any divine powers? Like a fun arrow of light or something?
No, my faith is my power and my cured patients are my proof.
So you can't do anything about actual demons, huh?
The powers held by the Lord are not mine to command. If he willed himself to do work through me, he could strike you down at any moment.
Okay, I'll wait then.
Anyhow, you're a God-fearing psychiatrist. Do you have a family? I had not been blessed with a wife during my time on Earth, nor offspring. Do you have a special woman in your life? I have a husband. I don't wear the ring when I'm on my job, as I like to keep my personal and professional life separated. But I don't hide the fact if asked. Unmarried then, I see. I will forgive you, as long as you continue to work hard. Do your job and find a killer in God's name. My, who would have expected? Leo here's trying to make some gay erasure. Alas. Let's talk about Meredith then. Can you tell me anything about Meredith or your relationship with her? No. Pardon me? I see a serpent for what it is. You simply wish for dirt, don't you? I wouldn't say anything to harm Meredith or Mikey, so you ought to change your line of questioning. The homophobe did indeed come out. I'd hate to use this as a tool to convince them to be helpful, but not even knowing that they're having an affair. A repeat and last plain judgment is enough to shake my loyalty. Do not test me. Shit. I'd need more. I see. You're not aware of Mikey. You're not aware Mikey is married? Married? I'd imagine I'd known if a woman was in his life. Richard Torres. Mikey's name is Mikey Torres. That's... Legally that's his name, but that's not why... Wait. What you want to know is about Meredith's husband, not Meredith herself.
I guess spite wins out in the end.
There is no use to being loyal to the serpent. So, Meredith's husband. Yes, you're aware of the typical employee of this state, I assume? Yes, they tend to skew younger. Well, due to a severe and repeated lapse in judgment, they sometimes skew below the age of adulthood. Oh. They work part-time, and off the books, of course. It's to build experience in the workforce, but it's also because of the man's preferences. Preferences? His sin is that he fancies those too young for him. Meredith has forgiven him for his transgressions, and now give him counsel so that one day he may be healed. But curing an addict isn't effective simply by going cold turkey. The process is slow, but he is healing. Oh, indeed. You mean he's taking advantage of less people on the regular? I mean that he's hiring people of older ages. Slowly, but surely. The 18-year-old minimum is relatively recent. These people are despicable. Alexander once confessed to me that he worked for Meredith's husband once. Fortunately for him, he did not seem to have taken on the brunt of his inclinations, but I'm sure he's aware of the truth. I don't believe Meredith is aware of the history they all share. Not that I'd remind her. She doesn't share the same level of forgiveness that a devout follower such as myself would. But thanks to your confession to me, I can relish in the fact that God led me to keep silent for this very reason. His hatred is abhorrent, but at least it makes him very easy to get information out of. I could probably get him to tell revealing secrets on anyone if I told him they were gay. I heard there was some controversy between you and Alexander Florence. Not controversy. It was the work of God. My religious duties conflicted with my job as a medical doctor. For a brief period of time, Alexander took upon the will of the Lord and filled in for me. God worked through him and saved a patient's life, just as I would have had I not been given religious counsel to one of our hospital's donors in his time of need. The only issue is that the enemy seeks to tarnish my good name because of Alexander's good deed. I wasn't afraid. Satan is already defeated, and victory belongs to the Lord. I share even my untimely demise was part of God's plan. I just don't understand his will yet. Right. So, as a primary writer, Dom, how close to the church did you grow up? I guess I'll just ask you. If it's a bit too much of a question, just feel free to say so. But Leo here is written very much so like from someone that knows how these people talk. You think he'd hold more contempt for Alexander, but it seems like he's more determined to believe this murder has some sort of meaning. Oh, I see. My. So how was it then to write Leo then? Did it feel cathartic, or did you have fun writing him? His exact speech is very homegrown. I see, now that is powerful of you. Oh, I'm glad he's your favorite. And I'll also add for the VOD in the worst way possible, said the writer. With nothing else to lose, I wonder if anything could break him out of that. It's not worth wondering about. Had the events of tonight shaken your faith at all? I realize having to show you your head is traumatic. Don't misunderstand me. I'm still God's humble servant. I'm still a part of his plan. It's just like Job. Though he slayed me, yet I will trust him. But I will maintain my own ways before him. If I don't keep my faith, if I don't maintain my ways, I will lose his favor. I must trust that there is a reason I must die while so many godless sinners yet breathe. Well, no one's deserved to die, really.
Wow. Death does help get rid of annoying people.
Even the demon knows your godless words are limp against divine truth. If God wills it, life can and should end. You do not have a right to breathe if God deems you unworthy.
So I guess you were unworthy.
The Lord is testing me yet and still. Right, let's head back to the foyer and see if I can talk to the fox. It's about Meredith's husband. Leo told me that he takes advantage of younger hired help. He also said that Alexander was aware of this as well, having once worked for them in that capacity.
I knew it!
I knew it! I have just one more request for you then. If you could recover my will from my corpse and hand it to Alexander. I had planned to throw all my money behind anyone who could take her down and pull my name into the sun, but I guess I'll just have to settle for dragging her to hell with me. Sure thing. Heading to the dining room.
You're obliging that old hack.
Hack or not, it feels kind of bad that I ghost a last wish. Well, a last wish that is relatively harmless.
You know that it's probably not going to be harmless to your client, right? Why would you go out of your way to do that?
She's my client, but she is not who I was hired to help. Well, it's not what I do when I'm paid to solve a murder. I help the victims. As awful as some of these people are, if their deaths are some kind of karmic repayment for the harm they've caused, they've already paid their tab. I'm not the judge for the dead. I'm playing judge enough with the living. Here we are. It's only slightly bloody too.
Interesting. I never thought of you like that. I guess that makes me the judge and executioner. Should I make, like, a second voice to make my own little chorus of fury?
I'm not the person to ask this sort of question. Now let's head outside. Alexander. What was your relationship with Leo Jackson? Him? Oh, was creepy. I thought he could help me with a problem I had, but he was just... I understand. I mean, he would be a very understanding person.
He was understanding to the wrong people.
Alexander? What do you need?
What do you need?
Here is something to give you.
This is a will. Hamilton Green's will? Why are you giving this to me?
My investigation was able to suss out that he wanted to give this to you. That is all. He said he understood your plight and that he wanted to back you up.
I see. Thank you for this.
Hamilton must have been thinking of his pride, but it is a surprising development nonetheless. Right, let's not bring out that fact. Anything new on Richard? Nope, everything seems to be all okay. Then let's head back to Hamilton. Have you finally thought about my offer? It's very lucrative, I swear on my life. Just give me more time to think about it. I have more questions about tonight. So, are there any fun secrets you know about this group? Or even the house itself? Are you the person to ask about fun secrets?
You've been so kind to me, so I'll tell you.
You all know about many of Meredith's secrets, so I doubt that will be any use to you. But I do know secrets of this house.
Voices carry, and so do mumblings.
I believe you mentioned something about a Felix McCain. You're still looking for him, and he's nowhere in this house. I all but assume he just went off into the woods at this point. That's right.
Well, there's one place he could hide, and that would be the attic. Its passage is hidden in the storage room. It's along the back wall, obscured by boxes. There's a brick that's supposed to be removed from the wall to let down the ladder to it. I've always wanted this house. I would try to get every last drop of information about its history and construction. I dreamed about the day I would wrest it from Meredith's clutches. Anyhow, pretty good information, yes?
Thank you, Hamilton. This is indeed good information.
Yes, and now we can enter a partnership together that'll last forever.
No, but thank you, Hamilton. My only friend is Kotrak. I don't think Hamilton is a crusty friend. I guess I can go to your attic now. If he exists there, this investigation will probably reach its conclusion. Well, that's a good sign, I'll say, to actually just tell you that, hey, so this might be the end now. And let's double check the bathroom again. No ghosts here. Right, since we are approaching the end, I'll ask our developer here in the chat again. Have I missed anything you think is important enough to showcase on stream, on transmission? And while I wait, I shall stretch. Yeah, I delivered the will. You've heard it here first, folks. We're gold. So let us head up into the attic. Strange. I expect more cobwebs in this pathway, or at least some signs of non-use. Then again, if Felix is anywhere on site, he'd have to be here.
As he rises into the attic, Maxwell is met with an all too familiar stench. The moon illuminates the area, just enough to show two things. A small coffin and a fresh corpse.
Shit. I think that's Felix.
He died so boringly too.
It looked like his head was bashed in. Wait, that shape. I think whoever killed Felix used you to do it. At the very least it was around the same kind of shape, and nothing else up there is as big or small.
It must have been before they picked up the call. I'm not exactly conscious of my surroundings until someone initiates that first call with me.
So this was before you were awoken. I'll need to tell everyone about this. Since Felix is dead, that means the killer has to be one of those three. That will make the big question, who had the means to commit both acts? This should be much easier to crack now. Covering up 2 acts is much harder than covering up 1. I'll have to return here later, since there's no ghosts or people here. Maybe I could ask the Necronomicon some question.
I like our conversations. You're absolutely fascinating. We should talk more.
Maybe we should explore this line of thought, just before I head back to the storage room. Well, let's do another save, because Lord knows I can screw up. And to the sitting room I go.
As Maxwell stumbles into the sitting room, worry plastered across his brow, the trio survivors turn to him. They exchange glances, then approach the detective.
Alright, what happened? If you called us back inside, I assume you have proof on who's guilty. Who were you able to figure out what happened? Felix McCain.
You were able to find Felix?
Felix McCain is dead. He was bludgeoned in the head. His body's in the attic.
You? What?
What? Was your little crony too incompetent to keep your dirty little secrets? Excuse me? You really think I would kill Felix? Please, ending his existence was your wet dream. Do not project that onto me. You're just trying to get back at me because of Mikey. You want to tarnish my reputation that I've worked so hard over these years to cultivate. I just thought the only person stupid enough to get this far would be Felix. But I see you caught his idiocy when you smashed his head in. Your reputation is nothing but a farce. I wouldn't be surprised if you decide to chop up everyone here just to corner a bit of extra sympathy. You say this will be bad for you, but you turn Mikey and Leo into martyrs. Suddenly, the 2 poison apples in your entourage no longer can hold you down. And you even got rid of Hamilton, who's been gunning for everything you own. Me? Oh please, I'll be much cleaner than that. I wouldn't leave anyone alive except for the fall guy. You know what? I'm calling the police. This is over.
What? So you can frame me for murder, huh? You fucked my husband, you callous. Richard stumbles over and steps back 3 paces. He can barely believe that he was struck.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. She shattered her wine glass on his skull.
With a thump, Richard falls back, toppling one of the vases near him.
Okay, step away from the butler. Max, I'm going to need help elevating him. And Meredith, out. I said out.
Fine. I'm still calling the police. Oh, this is wonderful.
Alex and Max with great difficulty prop Richard up on a couch. The duo can hear the faint sound of Meredith calling 911 in the adjoining hallway.
I have to finish my investigation. Wait, under the couch. There's two phones together. They must have been stashed around the same time.
Do what you have to. Do what you have to do, but the police will probably handle the investigation when they get here.
Right. I have around 25 minutes left. I get that, but I like to finish what I start. And I have to if I'm going to prevent a demon from being released. I should start back up in the foyer. There's not much time left. The fact that the others can't seem to see the ghost is a blessing, but now I can't talk to them without looking crazy. You insolent wretch! You think just because we're dead you can escape my wrath? Whoa, cool down, Grandpa. I just got baptized for the clout. It's no big deal. Forgive me, Lord, for vengeance will be mine. I'm not getting in the middle of that. I really hope the severed head of Leo doesn't trace back to me. I can't think about that right now. I need to investigate. Tune in, cause maybe the two phones I found together might be the right ones here. Necronomicon.
It's finally time. Please hold while we transfer your call.
I can't believe we're ghosts. I thought there was no afterlife, but this is so much more stressful. It'll be okay, Shay. You're not alone in this experience. We can figure this out together. Remember the most important rule? Foster curiosity, not fear. I'm sorry. You're such a good teacher and I died to screw up. It's an insult to your work. Please, you don't need to prove yourself. If my teachings touched your heart and made your mind flourish, then I accomplished my goal. Ahem. Sorry. I'm pressed for time and I need to ask a few quick questions about tonight. Sorry. What do you need? We'll be happy to help. Can you tell me a bit about tonight? Was there anything that stood out? Something that stood out? I think so, yes. It was when I tried going upstairs. I have a hard time going to the bathroom if someone's waiting on me, so I was going to go to the guest bedroom's bathroom, but Richard was arguing with Mikey and he yelled at me for trying to go upstairs. He was so angry I didn't know what to do, so I just used the downstairs restroom as quickly as I could. He even shooed Hamilton out of the foyer. And for me, I heard about Richard from Shay, so I went to check on him. It was around a minute or two before the blackout, but he was making his way outside. He ignored me when I called for him, so I just assumed that he didn't want to be bothered. So Richard was outside during the blackout. Wait, that reminds me. Necronomicon, with your kill spell, can a caster also be killed?
It'd be a pretty bad kill spell if it did. They don't need to shy around it, no.
So we don't need to be outside necessarily. Oh, one more thing. I remember Meredith's face. When the lights came on, I think I was still alive. Meredith came in from the kitchen and... yes, I remember her scream quite clearly. So, tell me about yourselves. Well, I'm a university professor. I teach pre-med and Shay here is a star pupil of mine. They graduated and went to become a lab technician. Well, yes, I did, but I kinda fell short of my family's expectations. They wanted me towards running my own practice. I'm much more comfortable studying bodies than talking to them. People. I mean, talking to people. You said your name was Carter. I could have sworn I heard that name before. You're thinking of Edward Carter Hospital. It was a hospital founded out by the renewed friendship between the Edwards and Carter family. You have Brooke Edwards and Shay Carter, who are both in attendance here because of their impressive pedigree. But pedigree means nothing without a curious mind to back it up. I believe that you lived up to your family name, Shay. I just wanted to live without being the center of attention, but was born into it. I think the last time I was fun was in your class in college. I'm glad I at least have those memories. Professor Valdez is a good person. He even helped someone as hopeless as me succeed. So that should tell you something. Oh, please. I barely did a thing. You're the one who came out of your shell and flourished. Good people. I'm also surprised to hear that phrase after everything that's happened tonight. So, you two seem pretty close. How did a teacher and a student become such good pals? She was simply too shy to talk to anyone else before my classes in college. Not that I'm their only friend, because I'm sure they were able to make plenty after me. Maybe a few, but I wouldn't say plenty. Professor Valdez is a shares mentor to me. He helped me open up a lot, and I'm bitter now because of him. So you feel like you owe a lot to the professor? I guess. In a way, I owe him my life. Oh, Shay. I didn't know I was that important to your life. It was a good thing you took my class then. Oh ho! I challenged all my students, but you've touched my heart. Settle something for me. Coffee or tea? Why not both? And tea. Coffee is too bitter for me. Weak answers. Coffee should always win out. Oh, please, Professor. Don't tell me at least you have a little bit of preference for one or the other. I guess I'd go with coffee. But as I have plenty of sugar, beyond saturated to be precise. Back at the university, I'd go into the chemistry lab. I came up with this method, you see, through which I was able to create a super saturated solution of sugar and coffee. It was a delicate, fragile thing. A single bump would collapse it and render it into a dark sludge. But it was worth it. I imagine a sweetness well beyond what your body would consider possible. And when I paired it with a slice of coffee cake, simply divine. A treat to be cherished. His sweet tooth is next level. I couldn't imagine ingesting that much sugar. Alas, with my passing, my secret formula will be lost to history. Don't worry, Professor. I'm sure another genius will come along and independently reinvent it. Or maybe the chemistry department will pour over your notes. When that happens, detective, you should try it. Words cannot do it justice. As for me, I like the taste of honey. I think it goes with tea better than coffee. They both like to drink sweets, one more so than the other. So, Meredith took a call right before the blackout happened? That is correct. Were either of you able to catch any of the contents of that call? Or did she mention who she was going to talk with? You know, I'm not sure. It seemed pretty urgent, and I found it strange she didn't just use a landline. Was she perhaps trying to be secretive? She might not have wanted the call to be traced back to her. I know that I used to borrow other people's phones so that my parents couldn't go through mine growing up. A private call, huh? Did she have a second phone on her, or was it just the one with the charger? Just the one. So she didn't have the Necronomicon before the blackout. I doubt she would have been able to hide a phone as clunky as that within her dress. Thank you, use it. Let's see. Meredith is probably outside. No, not much time left. Alexander, oh, I didn't see you there, Meredith. Not much time left. Need to get a move on. Right, gotcha. Back to the storage room. Oh. I've cavalcated a box. It's so intimidating now that I've been back and forth a few times. So it's probably worse that I'm getting used to the clutter. Let's do this one more time. Necronomicon.
Please hold while we transfer your call.
What do you want? Me being dead doesn't make my time less precious, so out with it. Well, I just have a few questions about tonight. In order to get an accurate assessment of the case, that is. Fine, but make it quick. So, tell me about tonight. I came to the party as I always do each year, but tonight was different. The integrity of this event was sullied due to the presence of unseasoned school children. The nurse and the technician. They weren't here because of their accolades. The nurse was invited because he was on TV, and the Carters neglected their obligation to this event by sending their child in their stead. Impressively, they are someone less experienced than Mikey Gordon, rest in pieces. Well, at least post-mortem she has respect for the dead. Worst of all, early in the party, that nurse had the gall to lead the festivities with the help. It was that rat, I can't remember his name. Who even learns the names of the help is absolute hogwash. Anyhow, I did what any self-respecting woman would do and monitored the foyer to wait and see when the two would finally return. The plan was to wait in the dining room and somebody clear my throat so as to accentuate my disdain for their uncouth getaway. But that nurse had the gall to return alone, and not only that, immediately go to the bathroom. I, of course, was furious, so I went back to the party and fumed over this childish unprofessionalism. I couldn't even find that rat butler after that point. He was probably off smoking somewhere. I bet he had a stash of cannabis hidden around. The only saving grace was the fact that I was able to network with Meredith herself, and I listed all of my complaints to her. She didn't make eye contact, but I would hope someone of her acclaim would show some concern for the sanctity of this event. I don't even think Meredith bothered to mention Brooke in her account. Anyhow, Meredith said she had to take a call. I offered my phone, but I seem to have left it in the sitting room. But yes, the blackout happened, we were all sliced to bits. Any questions? No. Thank you for your cooperation. So, tell me about yourself. I had figured my reputation would have preceded me. Are you certain you haven't heard of me before? Can't say I have. She seems rather sure of herself. The care you have received up to this point must have been shoddy at best. Allow me to educate you. I am Dr. Brooke Edwards. I belong to the Edwards lineage of physicians and hold my position in high esteem. I am one of the greatest minds in the profession, and my quality of care matches that distinction. Most of other doctors in the city are uneducated rabble. None of them have worked as far as I had in order to get to where I am. All of them operate under the delusion that they could ever live up to my family's name. I see. So you voiced a particular disdain for Alexander Florence. Why is that? Who? The nurse. That's what he's called. He should be ashamed of having such a low-born sounding name. I am annoyed not by the whelp itself, but what he represents. The youth of today have a revolting sense of entitlement. Alexander thinks he's being invited to his inner circle means he's some kind of genius. Meredith could be forgiven for allowing Shay's attendance. It was necessary for the Carters to be represented at this event in some capacity. Our families are in partnership, after all. But Alexander, all his resume has one fancy internship and one inflated ego. People like him have no respect for their seniors. I see. Is there anything else? No. Why would there be? So she doesn't even know him. She just hates the fact that he's new to the profession. Apologies. My mistake. The arrogance indeed. The cavalcade of boxes isn't so intimidating. Yep. One extra save to be safe. Let's see. Some things never change. There's also an almost extra dead body to contend with. I like your conversations. You're absolutely fascinating. We should talk more. Maybe we should. Close line of thought just before I head back to the storage room. Necronomicon, would you also allow me to ask you some questions?
Sure. While we're here alone in this attic, I feel like we're on the same sort of romantic getaway. We can share each other's secrets and frolic across the beach. We could even hold hands.
Sorry, I'm married.
What? Is hand-holding too romantic for you?
Yeah, it's more romantic than making out anyhow. Hand-holding is always intimate, but making out isn't that special. Guys make out all the time, or at least me and my old pals would.
I don't know where this Maxwell Morgan came from, but keep him around. I like his energy.
So, is that coffin your home? It's perfectly U-shaped.
Yes, it's sleek and surprisingly well kept. This Meredith, or at least her housekeepers, must have really cherished my casing before I was unboxed. Funny thing, the box itself is forged with the lingering will of a lesser demon. It beckons the souls of mortals.
I don't feel a tug on my soul.
It's not so strong that it'd be instantaneous. Plus, the dead bodies ruin the vibe. My coffin is nigh indestructible, priceless demonic artifact. It's older than your forefathers. I can't believe you made me say a dead body was ruining the vibe. You're so mean.
How is that mean? Alright. I don't actually ask you formally, so tell me about yourself. We've been working together, so it seems prudent to ask you.
Huh?
Is that strange to you?
Usually only the freaks who fall in love with me ask me that, and you don't seem head over heels for a demon. What's your deal? Looking for a silver bullet to get you out of solving this mystery?
No, just basic decency. Is it a sore topic?
Huh. I guess my view of you was too narrow. Then again, my very nature pre-selects for the worst people. Polite people like you tend to be the ones I'm killing rather than working with. Fine then. I'm a demon trapped in this tome, but I'm powerful enough to change its shape. It's a phone now because I thought it'd be cheeky to keep in line with the times. I take on clients and grant their wishes in twisted ways as I feed on blood and anguish. It's both a form of sustenance and a karmic role I play. Those hungry enough to attain me are usually striving for a power beyond their control, embracing enough to trample anyone in their path. They always get their wish, and I make sure it's deliciously appropriate for their downfall. And the very few that come to me in true desperation when all hope is lost, well, I give them a way out of their plight, at the very least. But everything must come with a price, and a body count, that is a constant.
Seems you got a bad deal. It'll be hard to enjoy things when you're always working. Everyone needs to clock out sometimes.
Well, it's not like I can change it.
Your last user, tell me about them.
You know I can't tell you their name. It's part of a contract after all. If I told you, I'd be sabotaging the investigation by robbing you of the ability to solve it. It'd be effectively making the contract null and void for us both.
I was going to ask that, but I didn't realize that's why you were trying to actively get in my way.
What? Did you think I just liked you?
I like to think I have a good grip on my customer service. That's beside the point. What I ask about is your previous line. Was there a wish to kill everyone?
I can't give you a definitive answer.
I figured. Thought I'd ask regardless.
What I can tell you is my best guess. I don't think they wanted everyone to die. It might have been the only path they saw forward, but I don't think they wanted this.
Only path forward. I understand. Thank you.
Let me ask you something. What do you wish to do? Once you find the culprit, what is your plan?
Look, man, I'm just doing my job here. I decide to solve this mystery and nothing more. Once that's done, my client can do whatever she wants with the information I give her. But that's not important right now. That's strange. Are you even able to create ghosts for people you didn't direct to kill?
Well, under the rules of this wish, yes. I could make the ghost, but you wouldn't be able to communicate with it. It also would try to kill you. Most of my resurrection spells makes malevolent creatures of the night.
So you could turn someone into some kind of Halloween monster?
What? Do you want to be a bloodthirsty creature of the night? Huge fangs dripping venom, big claws ready to tear and shred, a moderate height that would not get you mistaken for a child.
No, I wouldn't want to be bloodthirsty. My real wish would be to erase the nickname shortcake from the English lexicon. Why wishes?
Why wishes?
Right. Not specific enough. I just can't wrap my head around why you're a being that grants people's wishes. If you need blood to exist, then why rely on granting wishes of all things?
Oh, how to answer? Part of it is that I feed on a mortal soul. I stab into you because you're my battery. And it's easier to get what I need by disguising that fact by being a tool for the mortal to use.
So what do you get out of our particular deal?
Well, you either solve the cage, which I can easily see ending in a body count, or I'm freed and I can feed on people more directly. Plus, if you get out of this alive, we could renegotiate your wish to work better for you. I bet you deal with death a lot, so it'd be an easy deal for me. We could have a TV show and call it Necrophone and the Pole and Dull Detective.
No, too weird.
Come on, we could make a killing. Dead Ring?
I'd rather not be in a TV show. Okay, how about this? Do you have a question for me?
Oh, I get to ask you something.
We're working together on this, so it's only fair. You get one personal question, no holds barred.
Boxes or briefs?
Neither. I don't watch boxing nor do I use briefcases.
You're freeballing it?
Oh, you meant underwear. Briefs. Boxes feel like a second pair of pants. Okay, maybe we could do... That one wasn't really that personal.
If you're sure. Why are you a detective? You're not exactly gristle nor grouchy enough for it. You're like a polite little man. What gives?
Oh, Well, it's because I'm good at it. Another job would either drive me insane or net me less money. Plus, I met my husband on the job, so it's not all that bad.
Oh, was he a client? A family member?
A rival. I see. Now that's fun. Some things never change. There's almost always an extra dead body to contend with. Rivals to lovers indeed. What a classic pathway for it. Right, been to the attic. I think the foyer is still... The dining room has these two in it. Outside has the panther. I think I've done everything, so let's go back to the sitting room.
Oh. Oh, what do you need?
How's Richard holding up? Terribly.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. I just have him laying down with an ice pack. It's more shocking he didn't get any glass in his head.
Well, I guess that's better than what it could be.
Still, Meredith is terrifying.
She's a woman who never half-has anything, not even outbursts. What are your plans after this?
Me? What do you mean?
Well, I can't imagine your life is going to be easy after being at the center of something like this. You're one of the 3 more remaining survivors.
Sir, if I may be completely honest, I'm a nurse and I don't earn enough to be able to make plans. I do what feels right in the moment. I can never know what a tomorrow will look like, so I focus on surviving the day's shift and getting enough sleep to make it through the next one. Besides, I don't know if tonight can end. It's less long than my entire life. Best I can tell you is that my next 24-hour shift starts 10:30 a.m. That's as far as my life plan goes.
So I can't imagine you're feeling very keen on Meredith right now.
No, I wouldn't say I do. She's so intense. The idea that someone could just... I guess one of us did kill eight people, so I shouldn't be that surprised. It just feels like something so small to bludgeon someone over.
Yeah, being a nurse is a killer. Working within any field of the medical field is killer. I have both a friend that is a nurse as well as one that is a in-hospice doctor, and both of them have killer hours. I've seen people kill for less. All it takes is one act of passion.
I guess. What? I guess. I'd like to hope that killing a whole group of people would take a bit more than a little passion. So much wanton destruction for such little reason.
Who knows? Something can snowball out of control. One act of passion leads to another.
I'd like to stop talking about this.
Oh, I can give him the will here as well. Oh, I can just continue to give him the will. I see, that's funny. Everyone, before the police arrives, I have something to say. What is it now? You're still getting paid, so your work here is done. I just want you all to know that I figured out who the killer is. Would you all like to know? A tense silence spreads across the room. Alex and Meredith exchanging glances, but Richard decides to take initiative and sit up. Reggae Lost Detective, who is the killer? Of course, but let's start from the top. The party begins with everyone arriving. Everyone's arrivals are staggered, some being early, others being fashionably late, and as per requirement, they all relinquish their phones to Richard Torres. Richard knows that the attendants never follow the no phone rules, but he makes a solid attempt, finding the phone box upstairs in the storage room. After he sets roots in the foyer, Meredith is approached by Mikey Torres. They have a meeting planned, but there's more than just business to be handled. Shortly thereafter, Richard notices the lights in the foyer flicker and finds that none other than the late Felix McCain's phone plugged into a faulty outlet. He, of course, grills Felix for this and hands him back his phone. Okay, now here's the important part. Who was the last person to see Felix alive? There we go. Oh well, that's cute. No hints from you. Next, Felix and Alessandra leave with each other to the guest room. Assuming everyone was telling the truth, you were the last person to see Felix alive, Alexander. Huh? Well, no, I wasn't. When we departed, he went to the sitting room. That sounds reasonable, but I know that's a lie. I thought that someone would have mentioned it if they saw Felix coming downstairs. That probably would have been Brooke. Yeah, Brooke was looking out for... what could it be? That would sound reasonable, but I know that's a lie. A certain someone would have mentioned if they saw Felix coming downstairs. It wouldn't be Victor Valdez. It could possibly have been Hamilton Green. But hey, we have the power to save here, chat, so... Let's be a bit of scumbags about it. I think it would be Brooke. I can't rely on the testimony of a ghost, but I think I can manage on another train of thought. I don't think he went downstairs. I don't even think that he went back to the foyer. Think for a second. For him to end up in the attic, he would have had to leave the sitting room, and there's one big problem with that claim. Hamilton Green would have seen him. He's dead. Do you think a corpse could corroborate the claim? Yeah, no, of course, that would make sense. Ah, well. A lapse of judgment from this bot. Richard Torres would have seen him. You have a point. If he was upstairs with Felix, then that means...
Richard slowly gets up from the couch as he was laid out on.
That was when Felix met his end.
What do you say? What are you saying? You think I killed Felix? Why?
Why indeed? There could be many explanations, but I think one covers that. So what do you think, chat? Why do you think that Felix were possibly killed by Alexander? Ah, you're a damnable chat transmission receiver, Blaine. That would be the simplest explanation for how I wound up in position of this. A phone? What does have a phone to do with?
Hey lady, I ain't any normal phone.
The receiver moves like a mouth. It looks so old and yet. I present you all the murder weapon for all 8 victims.
Yep. I killed him. It was me. But I can't implicate my last customer, so I won't confirm or deny anything other than slashing up 7 people.
Now we can go and cross-reference the indentation in Felix's skull with his phone, but I thought she'll be able to take my word when it say it matches.
This doesn't... Richard could have done it too, you know? He was upstairs as well.
Do you know anyone that contradicts this? Nah. Let's see. Well, the one that would be able to corroborate that and not just sound like Richard would be Eloise. Oh, I don't even remember seeing Felix Motor's body. How could I contradict that? Oh yeah, right. Richard.
He could have been trying to save his skin.
You have no proof of that. Police sirens? Shit, took too long trying to explain the case. Ah, I see. So we all actually timed. Well then. What happened was that I screwed up royally, and I am a sour loser, so I loaded a save.
This doesn't... Rich could have done it too, you know? He was upstairs as well.
Your account contradicts all of that, Alexander. When you went downstairs, Richard was talking to Meredith, and they went downstairs together. He had gone back upstairs, and I know he didn't from his account anymore. Yeah, if I get a wrong question too many times, I get a bad end. Partially, I don't really think that it's signposted all that well that you're actually semi-timed for this segment. Because that was a big surprise. You're the only person who could have killed Felix, and I can even prove that you were the only one able to perpetuate the crime of killing everyone else too. God fucking damn it! I can't do this. I did it. I killed him. I killed him because it was the only way. Huh? Meredith's husband, Leo Jackson, Mikey Gordon, everyone at this party, they're all a part of this twisted mess. And then Meredith, the harm you done to everyone has worked for you is incalculable. I didn't care for what happened to me.
Meredith Louise and her empire's a blight on healthcare. Do you know how much deregulation of insurance was enacted by her? How many more people went without being able to afford healthcare? How many specialist facilities weren't able to open because Meredith said no? It's maddening. So yes, I did it. My only regret is that you survived, but I guess...
Well, I guess there's no way around it. The guild will just have to get away. Excuse me? I'm not stupid. In the span of one night, you were able to find out about both my affair and Mikey's last name. Then this little twerp over here is a ticking time bomb filled with my husband's secrets. The moment you see inside of a courtroom, things become a lot more difficult for me. So here's what we're going to do. Felix killed everyone and then tripped on a loose floorboard. I saw him go insane, and Richard here was able to fend him off all by his handsome self. He went back to the attic to hide, and voila, case closed.
Why would I go along with any of that?
You worked for me years ago, didn't you? Surely you didn't think you'd fly under the radar forever? I'm sure I can find a few people you wouldn't want to see inconvenienced by your repeated lapse in judgment. Well, detective? I can't sit on this. I have responsibility to my job, and I cannot leave this unsettled. You can't be serious. I'm paying you money. You're my contractor. You pay me to solve this case, I'm going to give my recommendation to the police.
Faint sirens bleed through the wall.
Right then. It's about time I do my job. You can't just... Do my job? I can and I will. I can't just let this go.
In one swift motion, Meredith grabs onto a lamp. She doesn't have time to think. She just knows that a problem needs to be solved. Detective Maxwell's hands shake as he searches for a way out of this. His gaze flies to Richard, Alex, then to the red and blue lights coming from the windows. He does not know what he's doing, but in a panic he grabs the first thing that comes to his mind.
Wait, no. There's one more thing. Is this? Right. I probably should have seen this coming. I'm sorry, love. I don't think I'll be home tonight. I have to go on a bit of a trip. Huh. Bad end indeed. I don't really know what I did to earn the bad ending, I'll be honest with you. Huh. I'm sorry to ask for help, but Mr. Developer, are you still here in the chat? Yeah, I don't know what really I could have missed. Right then, this is a bit of an issue. The only thing that I can think of is maybe because of what the phone said. But then again, I didn't pick justice. I picked doing my job, but maybe that just implies to justice. I don't know. Maybe they're in cahoots. I really don't know myself. Let's see. No, not overwrite. Load. Let's go through everything as quickly as I can. Then we'll head up to the attic. Necro. About Necro. Yeah, read all that. It wasn't in that one. Wasn't in that one. Maybe it is this. Let's say judgment here. Given the methods used in this case, if the murder is proven to still be an act of danger to others, I may be forced to take justice into my own hands. It's something I want to do, but I may have no other choice. But that's not important right now. Maybe this will set a new trigger. Let's go to the sitting room. So let's see if this changes it. The answers are Alexander Florence, Brooke Edwards, which leads into Richard Torres, which leads into Necronomicon, leading into Alexander Florence. Huh. Yeah, no, I'm stuck. I don't know what I am missing out on. Maybe I should just get the bad ending by just not explaining it. Shit, I took too long trying to explain the case. Well, I guess calling you in was a waste of money. You'll still be paid, but it seems all you're good for is finding another body. At least stay out of the way. Don't be a nuisance to the police. No. No, if I can't solve this case, then the Necronomicon... Wait, let me try again. You don't... Car door slam just outside. It's too late.
Well, well, well. Looks like I've come out a winner for a little contract, detective. I'm really looking forward to having a body again. It's been so long. Peter will be anchored to your arm until dawn breaks, but look at the bright side. We're gonna have such a lovely time together when I break out of this vessel.
A blob out of doctors. In today's news, 12 people and 2 police officers were found dead at what can only be described as a blender of cartilage. Renowned socialite Meredith Louise and her associates were all found dead in her mansion, with cause of death ranging from slicing and stabbing to decapitation. Despite the brutality of the murders, investigators are puzzled by the death of one, Felix McCain, who was found bludgeoned to death at a separate location. Who could have done this? Well, police have yet to apprehend the suspect, saying, "Whatever could have done this seems to be more of an animal than a person." Stay tuned for more details as we keep you up to the on the scoop. God no, I have a husband waiting for me back home. I can't let something like that happen. Yeah, no, the thing is that we solved the mystery by answering every question correctly, but that leads to Eloise just killing us. Is that supposed to happen, or is the good ending actually just fucking up in the last stretch? Yeah, I went back to the attic afterwards. I talked to Necro. What is now? You're still being paid to your workers down. So right now we're trying to see. I want you all to know that I figured out who the killer is. Yeah, no, I did do all the dialogue options. In fact, I can even hop on back to no, not overwrite. Load. Here. Yeah, we have Brooks' account. Attic. Well, first I answered nothing. Then I answered in my own hands. So yeah, I think it was. Yeah, here we go. So I should actually choose Justice. Because, you know. Ah, I see, I understand. Because otherwise... well, that's understandable, but at least then for... I don't know, personally for this demo, if these two options doesn't matter, they... I can have this discussion as reach the ending, but for now... I'll call the authorities and hand over the evidence and testimonies and try to bring them to justice. Even if it'll be hard to get a conviction with the supernatural methods involved, I'm sure I could figure out something to set law enforcement on the right path. So yeah, that sets the ending. We move back to the sitting room. Yeah, I can understand that. So for now we end the investigation. Third time, last try. So let's do this again. Alexander Florence, Brooke Edwards, Richard Torres, Necronomicon. Alexander Florence. And now we have Justice, the only option. You can't be serious. I'm paying you money. You're my contractor. If I want to solve this case, I'm going to give my recommendation to the police. Faint sirens bleed through the wall. Right then, it's about time I do my job. You can't just do my job. I can and I will. I can't just let this go. In one swift motion, Meredith grabs onto a lap. She doesn't have time to think. She knows that a problem needs to be solved. Detective Maxwell's hands shake as he searches for a way out of this. His gaze flies to Richard, Alex, and then to the red and blue lights coming from the windows. He does not know what he's doing, but in a panic, he grabs the first thing that comes to his mind. Wait, no, there's one more thing. Yeah, some skipping messes with the zooming in this scene. And then, yeah, this is the... So yeah, that's the ending that we got before. I'm guessing that's something that shouldn't have happened. Sure thing. Load game. Now this is an exclusive chat. We're doing some live bug testing. Let's go up and talk to Necro. Then we'll go into Necro's last user. We'll casually just press through everything. Because maybe skipping is what causes an issue. So I need to choose Justice. In fact, we'll do a safety save on this spot here because this is where most of it seems to go wrong. So, choosing Justice. And then go back to the sitting room then, in that case. You can skip it though, it's the other trigger in this convo. So yeah, the rival has been mentioned, Justice has been chosen, this should be the setup that we need. We'll have that save there. And then hop off to talk to Alexander. Go to the scene room. We'll talk to him. We'll go through his dialogue again. Yeah, press the Hamilton's will button. Right. May luck be with us as we solve this investigation now. Alexander Florence. Brooke Edwards, but that can't be traced. So that will be Richard Torres. The option here is Necronomicon. Alexander Florence contradicts this. Let's be kind towards the games and not skip this so it won't screw over some animation stuff. And now I have the option of justice. Is this correct? Working as intended. I can say on this, I have responsibility to my job and I cannot leave this unsettled. You can't be serious, I'm paying you money, you're my contractor. You paid me to solve this case, I'm going to give my recommendation to the police.
Faint sirens bleed through the wall.
Right then, it's about time to do my job. You can't just do my job, I can and I will. I can't just let this go.
In one swift motion, Meredith grabs the lamp. She doesn't have time to think, she just knows that a problem needs to be solved. Detective Maxwell's hands shake as he searches for a way out of this. His gaze flies to Richard, Alex, and then the red-blue lights coming from the window. He does not know what he's doing, but in a panic he grabs the first thing that comes to his mind.
Wait, no. There's one more thing. The detective feels
in his wrist a great terrible recoil as if he had fired a gun. But what he sees is a Necronomicon's cord spearing Meredith's heart.
Wait. We're standing over a dead body that was made by magic murder phone and the police are right outside. You've got to be fucking kidding me. How do we explain any of this to anyone? My husband and boss were murdered by a death phone? My life is over because of magic? Hey, I know, I did do all three. It could potentially be that when I reset for doing... because I messed up too many questions in the investigation part, that I forgot to do one of the flags beforehand. Yeah, the save was before Necro, so I probably just missed the Maxwell flag that one time. Ah, well. Then everything is working as intended and you can take a sigh of relief. What could I have possibly done to deserve this? What's next? God is real and he's sending me personally to hell early?
Richard's composure is completely false, as if everything he's made peace with suddenly comes rushing back to him.
What am I supposed to do now? What can we do?
Then, just as everyone loses any path forward, Alice's eyes widen with an idea. He rushes out of the room only to return with a knife in hand. His target is none other than Meredith's corpse. He stabs her again and again, splattering blood on his clothes, not with glee nor mania, but with something like calculated hurry. He looks up to Max, shaking from exertion but with steady eyes. I killed everyone. Is that an acceptable outcome?
Why would you do that?
I'm getting what I want. I'm ending her empire. Talent as well. I'm sure I could get a good lawyer. I'm going to lay out every last deal of what I know on record. Her idea of a fate worse than that was to have her dirt exposed to the world. And that's what I'll give her.
I'm not one for deception, but I can't exactly expect a magical murder phone to go over well in a courtroom. Not in this district, at least.
Before Maxwell can get his 2 cents in, the police have already entered the room. Seeing the bloodied body of Meredith and Alexander standing over her, he is immediately taken in and everyone else is detained shortly thereafter.
Thanks, officer. I'm glad I can make your job easier. Finally, I can go home to my husband. Explaining Leo's severed head was an interesting challenge, to say the least. And then not getting to finish my monologue was certainly disappointing. But I guess it would have fallen apart once I got into the supernatural elements. I think what stood out to me was the part of Alex's testimony where he was talking about the phone light. Who could that have been? No, he had no phone and his mini flash was a warm light. No, it defeated the purpose of his kill spell created light. He wouldn't be able to kill everyone. I guess on normal circumstances it wouldn't be. I guess under normal circumstances it wouldn't be important. After all, Meredith being able to go along that route and Richard having the wrong kind of light are things that I think that only makes sense with the context of the ghost, maybe not the latter. Necro. He showed up as soon as we were arrested. He hasn't spoken since. He certainly was helpful even if he... Necronomicon.
Yes, detective.
Why did you do that? Why did you kill Meredith? You went out of your way to save my life without a wish. Why?
Aren't demons allowed to commit crimes of passion? My job pre-selects for the worst kind of mortals, you know. Meeting one I don't want to see fail is rare, let alone one who'll keep stumbling on corpses, murders and all that good stuff. I want to stick around with you for a little while longer. How about it? Wanna keep a good thing going?
Fine. We can talk about it in the morning. Okay, time to finally get some sleep. Maybe I'll be home half an hour before sunrise if I'm quick enough. Except now I have to show him to my husband. He's going to be so annoyingly excited over a magic ghost phone. But I guess that's why I love Frankie. Justice complete. And that is Dead Ringer, chat. As mentioned before, to give the game a download and a rating yourselves. It is in a competition after all. Last I checked, it was fairly squarely set in second place, but hey, maybe we can push it up to first. Yeah, no, it was fun. Besides just a couple of confusing points during my read-through of this, I had a blast doing this. My gratitude is extended towards our developer here in chat, Dom. Thank you very much for joining us here for this transmission, as well as for working on this fun time of a game. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for tuning into this transmission, and with Dead Ringer complete, I will now bid you guys adieu. I'll see you next time. See you around.